You got jacked. That took a while, right?
I'm going to get into that. I'm going to get into that.
They were a little airbrushed, right?
I think they might not a lot.
Not a lot. Only a little.
Only a little.
Only a little.
They only used a little.
Those, at least 4 of the 6 were his.
I licked them and I did not get any paint on my tongue.
Yep.
Because they were on the television. Cultpop. 1, go.
What is up, all the fellow sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the Geek Nation? Thank you for tuning in to one of the longest running pop culture and comic book podcasts in the world.
Zworld. Cultpop
Podcast Live. This is episode 117.
Is
hey,
it?
17.
Is it
It's like 119.
Can we?
118.
Damn it.
If you're out there,
we'll start over.
All right.
Go count all the podcasts and let us know what episode this is.
Yeah, come back when you figure it out.
It's 117 plus 1.
17 is my favorite number, so I was hoping it was 17. Damn. If you're new here, this is a place where we talk about comics, movies, TV, werewolfism, and as an allegory for puberty, maybe, and cults? Question mark? We don't know. We'll talk about it. And all the other things that scratch your nerdy itch. Tonight, we're broadcasting to you from Young Junk HQ. Young Junk! A bomb-ass podcast studio in Philadelphia, PA. I am Alice, your host for this evening. You may know...
Oh, now we're clapping? I was doing a snap. Damn it.
I like what's ever happening. You may know me from Inside the Morgue, where my co-host Jess and I delightfully deep dive into on-screen deaths. And joining me tonight on this return to Forks, Washington is JD.
Of Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex, located at 4327 Main Street, Philadelphia, PA. It's a rad-ass comic shop that caters to rad-ass folks like you. So I don't have anything from Twilight there, though. I'm sorry.
That's doable. You do commissions.
Oh, I'll draw you an Edward.
Not a Jacob,
I was gonna...
Maybe a Bella.
I thought of it too late. I was gonna ask you to make me a shirt that says, "Where the hell have you been, Loca?" That's one of the lines in the movie. In this movie.
Well, it's too late now.
I'll wear it for another one.
Okay.
Who's Loca?
He says it. It's a meme in the Twilight community. It's the first thing Jacob says when he sees Bella again after the breakup. Yeah. She like shows up at his house. He's like, "Bella, where the hell you been, Loca?" And it became a meme.
I remember this.
So I was going to ask for
if you were
sure.
a Twihard, you would know this.
Yeah.
I'm not. That's the fun part of this.
Yeah, your eyes aren't even red.
Yeah.
Also,
the Twilight super fan.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah, he was texting me nonstop about it. It was pretty great.
Yeah.
What? In our booth is our expert producer, Dylan. Whoop, whoop. Dylan, are you on camera today?
No, I'm not. I'm trying to. The thingy isn't. The thingy isn't working the way I want it to.
Is it real? Is it a full moon tonight? Is that why you're not on?
Yeah,
because he's wolfing out.
He's a giant dog right off screen.
Very eloquent though.
He won't stop licking.
But
you're gonna go bald.
But when you slowly look into his eyes, you could tell Dylan is still there.
It's true.
It's true.
When you see my reflection in his giant pupils, you know that he's there.
You know that he's still there.
And,
Dylan,
and did you turn when you turned like in puberty?
You turn when you turned?
Did you turn him? Was that like a thing? Did you get mad and then turn into a wolf?
No, he's just
roid rage out.
What are the rules? You know, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah,
you learn to train it. It's true. You learn to just sorry.
If anyone
that's watching or listening wants to know more about you being a werewolf or just recording at Young Junk HQ, your space and the services, where can they inquire?
Right here.
You got it. Yep,
right
exactly where y'all are pointing. That's where you can find my email. And if you send that email a message, you will reach me, and I am the one who can get you a podcast in this studio.
If you encrypt the message, he will also try and read it.
I love puzzles, so
hit me with your best puns.
He said puzzles.
Oh,
I said puzzles.
What do puns have to do with this?
I love the idea. I love the idea of him getting emails just like, "Do you want to play a game?"
We have someone in the chat, Penny Pretzel, saying, "I'm not afraid to admit that I love Twilight." Me either, Penny. That's why I'm here in an Edward Cullen shirt and red contacts, trying to look like Jane from New Moon.
There's no shame in this podcast.
Nope. No,
this is a safe space.
It is.
Where
It is.
I've never seen a second of these movies before, so no shame.
Welcome.
Yeah. And they also asked us to show them the dog man. He doesn't have a camera.
He's shy.
He's shy. He's a shy
dog
puppet.
man.
I'm a shy dog.
I miss you guys so much. Me too. Come visit us. You know where we are.
Yeah, you're not in another state. Or is she in another city?
No, she's in downtown.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Center City?
Where are you now? Christopher Goodnight's also there. My boss, who gets to listen to music while she works, and I do not, had the song from the end credits of Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Oh,
and
1,000
I almost
years.
ran up to her and asked, "Where the hell have you been, Loca?"
See? Christy and
See?
Saucy Goodnight
What
gets
does
it.
Loca mean?
He gets it.
We don't know. Loca.
I'll look it up. You guys go.
Okay.
Anyway,
no,
tonight.
like Loca.
Google
like,
Loca.
like,
I'm going to Google it.
yeah. All right, tonight, if you didn't guess, we're venturing back to the thick forests of the Pacific Northwest to check back in with the monstrous love triangle of Bella, Edward, and Jacob. That's right. It is part 2 of our ongoing Twilight coverage. New moon. But before we do that, we're going to talk about what we've been enjoying this past week and all that other fun stuff. A gentle reminder that before we get started, if you're live with us, feel free to comment like our lovely friends have been doing. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. And if you're watching later, do all of that too. And we love a little back and forth, so please pipe up in the chat. And also send us emails at cultpopgo@gmail.com. And speaking...
We've got letters.
We've got a letter.
Oh, we've got lots and lots and lots and lots of letters. All right. Subject, purple monster trucks raining down on cheerleaders. Hey, y'all. It's been a few weeks since I wrote in, both with this show and Fresh Floppies, but I thought I'd share some things. Purple Rain. Well,
The film.
it sure is a movie. I get that it's a product of its time, but the moment he slaps Apollonia, I stopped rooting for him. Same with Morris Day. I was kind of on his side throughout the movie until he made the joke about Prince's family there at the end. I guess you're supposed to root for Apollonia, but I just didn't care. One funny moment for me personally was in the opening moments of the movie. Oh, it's up here too. Opening moments of the movie where I had no idea what to expect, and he comes running in on his motorcycle in full costume. I joked to myself that he was like Batman. And then he does the disappearing thing while she was trying to talk to him as he is standing behind her. And it was like, OMG, he is Batman. Great music, funny movie, just not a fun or good movie. As for the cheerleaders and monster trucks, I spent Saturday and Sunday working crowd control for Monster Jam. They sold me the whole seat, but I only needed the edge, and a cheerleader competition. One day it was wild, out of control animals drunk on their own power, and the day before it was monster trucks. Question of the day. Here we go. What would your monster truck be called / what would its theme be? What colors would it be? Christopher St. Saucy, good night.
Do you want to talk about, do you have any thoughts about Purple Rain?
No. I haven't seen Purple Rain since I was very tiny. I love the soundtrack.
About how tiny?
Like a pack of cigarettes tiny.
Oh, okay.
I was like that big.
So
That big.
your lungs didn't even work. You
Nah.
were just
Yeah.
movie.
And yeah. So I keep meaning to go back and revisit the movie Purple Rain, but I love the soundtrack.
Chris, you're not supposed to root for him. He's a product of abuse and is abusive. He's abusive to his bandmates. He's abusive to her.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no, he's not a good person. That's what makes the movie good.
As long as you come away from that film knowing exactly what it's like when doves cry.
I mean, it's about abuse too. Yeah. It's a good movie. Sorry.
So what would your monster truck be called / what would its theme be?
Gotta be something with
that's
vampires.
I was going to say, it's got to be Edward themed, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I was just thinking any vampire, and it's got to be red and black.
The
Go with the
littlest
vampire.
vampire?
The
No.
littlest vampire.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's the
And
name
it's
of the
like
truck, but it's like a big monster truck. So it's like when
So
like a
it's-
big guy's called Tiny.
So it's,
Yeah.
it's ironic. It's an ironic monster truck.
Perfect.
The littlest vampire, and it's like the most terrifying monster truck you've seen. Yeah.
I love it.
And its colors would be black and red and maybe a little pink, just for fun.
Mine would be Steve Buscemi themed.
Just Buscemi raps.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Just all the way
Incredible.
around. Just his eyes all the way around.
And then when you hit the horn, it says, "Hello, fellow teenagers."
Yep.
Yeah.
How do you do,
Yeah.
fellow
Yep.
kids?
Yeah.
I don't believe in diesel fueled engines.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
so
I
you,
don't
just,
Save the
you made
world.
us look like
Yeah.
jerks.
Yeah, no, I don't
don't
know.
believe
I
in
actually
Steve
don't
Buscemi.
even. I don't even know. That's a great question. Can I randomly throughout
Would
the
it be
course of
like
the
a
show just
sport?
like come up with something?
Yeah, like as we're mid talking about Twilight, just yell out a monster truck thing.
Yeah.
You're going to think, maybe, would you have a werewolf themed one? We'd like, fight.
Like a Jacob one. I don't know.
Penny Pretzel comments, the littlest vampire primed our bodies for Twilight.
yes, Penny gets it.
I miss you.
I never want to hear the sentence.
Primed
the
our
littlest
bodies."
vampire primed our bodies.
for anything. ...
Yeah, just full stop.
That's the greatest.
The littlest vampire
comment.
should never have primed
coming.
a body ever. But anyway,
You're looking at it.
Yeah, I abstain from this question, but I think the colors would be green.
Really?
That's all. Yeah,
You wear a lot
green.
of purple.
I mean, I have a purple hat.
That's true.
Is this one?
Yeah. You wear a lot of purple hats right now. All right, what do we got? Oh, hey.
It's like object permanence. Like
That was the intro.
That was it. We did it.
Now
Those
what?
are some good high fives. Wait. Nice. Ooh. All right. Hey, Cult Poppers.
Hey.
What is poppin' with Noel? What's going on?
Oh, hey. I watched a new movie this past weekend.
New Moon?
Other than it's new to me. New Moon was new to me. This is a movie that was new to me as well as is new.
New to everyone.
I saw the most recent or the newest Russo's joint.
Oh.
The brothers Russo on Netflix, The Electric State.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Which is it's based on a book by Steven Spielberg or something. I don't know. It's a 90s book about just robots taking over or humans fighting with robots.
It's Millie Bobby Brown, right?
Millie Bobby Brown, Chris Pratt, and just every actor you could think of doing a voice of another robot. Yeah.
A graphic novel.
Is it a graphic novel?
Yeah.
Or was it a book?
It's a 2018 dystopian science fiction illustrated novel by Swedish artist Simon Stalenhag.
Mm-hmm.
Set in an alternate technologically
2018?
ravaged 1990s, it follows a teenage girl and her robot.
2018? I thought it was much older than that.
Mm-mm.
Oh, cool.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, it's getting terrible reviews. Absolutely terrible reviews.
What about from you?
Yeah. How's
it's
your
fine.
review?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just fine. Like it's technically proficient. It's pretty, but it's just really empty, kind of boring. The actors are acting. It was just fine.
I get it.
Like it was an incredibly well produced movie that had no like everything was like really, and it's not even like there's times like we watch and read tons of shit, and sometimes you could just guess in front of the movie because of all the information in your head. This was just on the page, obvious. Like, yeah, great, that's her brother. Yeah, great, sure, do that. Like it was very boring. It's like the movie just kept falling forward. But it's fine. Like there's a lot of hate about it, and it's like not even worth the hate. Yeah, and my nephews watched it. They thought it was great.
Oh, cool.
It's just
I
not
like
for
when that
you.
happens.
Yeah.
It's fine.
If the kids are digging it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many movies from my childhood where I'll talk to my parents about it. I'm like, remember that movie? It was great. And my dad's like, I hated that movie.
Yeah.
Was it The Littlest Vampire?
No, I haven't asked him about that one yet, but probably.
You just want to hold that.
Yeah, I want to keep that. I want to keep that.
I want
to keep that close. I don't want that to be tarnished.
Childhood shattered.
No. Space Jam was one I found out.
Yeah, Space Jam's not a very good movie. Even I went back and was just like,
I've still never seen it.
What?
Sorry.
The second one made me. The second one made me realize how bad the first one was.
I never saw the second one
because everyone was like very nostalgic about like, oh, the first one was so good and this one sucks. I'm like, oh, it's not good.
The same.
What's wrong with you guys?
I still love it, and it was like prime for my childhood. And then I talked to my parents about it. My dad's like, I couldn't stand that movie, and you watched it so much. And I'm like, I'm so sorry.
It's definitely like the worst Russo brothers movie. So like they did it is the worst. It's like 18%.
I just the it makes me sad because I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, every movie except for the Endgame and what was the other one? The Marvel one. Infinity War.
And Captain America and Captain America.
Yeah, except for all the Marvel movies, which are stellar. I feel like every other thing that they've done since then have been kind of lackluster. And
The Gray Man was
loved.
dope.
Was that good?
It was really cool. Like it was Ryan Gosling being like action man, and it was actually like well choreographed action. The plot was stupid, but it was just like an entertaining, trashy movie.
Charming,
yeah, it was charming.
Yeah.
I'm
on the Gosling train now.
With what's his name? Captain America was the bad guy with the stash.
Yes,
he actually calls him Trash Stash in the movie.
Trash
I'm like,
Stash?
this is cool. Like that's a charming movie. That's just
Chris Evans.
That's the kind of movie. Yeah, it's Chris Evans. Okay. That was the kind of movie that is critic proof. Like this is just a fun sit. I know it's stupid. This was kind of dumb and not very fun. It was just pretty.
Yeah.
Like it was a very well done movie.
Yeah.
It's just this is very boring.
Bummer.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, The Electric State on Netflix. Check it out. It's apparently it cost $300 million to make.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Egad.
Yeah.
Speaking of Millie Bobby Brown, the last one she did, I don't think was, I think may have been panned as well, but I really liked
Damsel.
Damsel. I thought
fine.
Damsel
I
was
still
a
haven't
lot of
seen.
fun. I
thought it
really
was
enjoyed
fine.
that.
I
still haven't
thought the
seen.
movie was cool, but it looked like garbage.
That's fine. I would rather a movie be entertaining and look like garbage than be $300 million and look amazing, but then be boring.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a fun sit.
Yeah.
It was fine.
I think I'd watch Damsel over.
It's a better
Electric
movie.
State. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. JD.
Oh, hey, hi. How's it going? I'll tell you what's popping.
Yeah. What's poppin'?
A friend of mine on Facebook, I go on Facebook once a day these days, and it happened to be the first thing up, is a buddy of mine commented about this show. It's a hard watch, but make sure you check it out. And I was like, you know what? I will. And this was me using my remote control to turn on the television.
Took him a while.
Yeah, yeah. Just
I like to think that
Finally hit
you
the
have,
power button.
you have one of those like AOL TV is the internet keyboards.
Yeah. And it's a show on Netflix. It's 4 episodes called Adolescence.com. And it is co-created, I want to say / co-written by Stephen Graham, it's a name that sounds familiar, and I wasn't quite sure why until I saw the man on the screen, and I went, oh, that guy. Oh, I love that guy. He's great. From Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Oh, he's in the show, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen him.
What? Yeah, he's in the show. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. He's one of the main characters of the show. He's the dad. Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels, Snatched, a lot of the Guy Ritchie Johns. Dylan's over there with his paws going, because he's a dog.
Because he's a dog.
Callback. But yeah, this show, God, I don't even know. I had no idea what it was. It was a hard watch. It's only 4 episodes. Give it a go. And that's what I did. So I'm a little hesitant to reveal anything about it other than someone is accused of a murder. Dun, dun, dun. And then it is the arrest and the following up and everything that just transpires in 4 episodes. The big deal about this show is that it's all one take. Every episode is one take.
Oh.
And I thought to myself, surely, for certain, there are CGI cuts that we missed. Like in the Daredevil hallway scene, right? It's like, well, the camera got knocked into the door and it's black for a second, so you know that's where they cut.
Mm-hmm.
There are no seams in this show at all. I watched with an eye the entire time, being like, with my Alice arms, where's the cut? I need to see the cut. And there's not a single cut to be found.
That's what I was going to say. The 2 things I know about the show, that it's technically proficient because that's what everyone's talking about.
Damn.
And it's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's the highest approval rating
Jess
of
is
any
watching
Netflix
this.
show.
Wow.
So
I didn't know
far.
that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
There's even a sequence where someone jumps out of a window from a classroom and the camera just goes with him.
That's what I saw.
It's
How
insane.
they did that.
Yeah. Oh, did they show you?
Yeah.
I imagine the window itself was CG or
Basically,
something.
that's
but
it. But other than that, they went
so
with them.
cool. So
That's
cool.
awesome.
So my 100% recommendation.
Ooh.
I will say
You heard it here first.
it was second because I heard it somewhere else.
Well, they heard
it here from
They
me.
heard your
first.
100% recommendation.
Both of
here
the things
first.
that were heard first here.
That's
You
true.
heard it here first.
Twice.
3 times now.
So good. But it is a hard watch. I will say that. Twice. Yeah. So yeah, that's what was popping for me this week.
Hey, Alice.
Hey, me.
What happened with you this week?
what
Are
was
you
poppin'?
okay?
No, I'm not actually.
Alice, are
Thank
you
you for
okay?
asking. Let's
Alice,
get into
are you
it.
okay? Are you okay, Alice?
Alice, are you okay?
Sorry.
Dottie Henson.
Yeah, I hung out with Noel's wife on Sunday.
That's right.
Sam.
Dottie Henson.
Yeah. Sam had some girlfriends together. We crafted and we were looking for something to put on while we were crafting. And Sam goes, "Oh, Alice, you're going to be excited." And I immediately turned around and I'm like, "Are you putting on A League of Their Own?" She's
What?
like,
Have
Have
yes.
you never seen it?
How did you just guess that?
Because we've been talking about watching it together for
Yeah.
forever.
Okay, that makes sense.
Actually, I like the idea that they were just like
We just-
there.
Yeah.
We clicked.
Alice, I just
Yeah.
sent a thought to your
No,
brain.
we've been
Did you get
talking
it?
forever, ever since we found out that we both when we watch this movie, we have to quote it. I found that out through Noel, and I talked to Sam about it. We're like, we have to watch it together. And so we were over crafting, and I wasn't fully paying attention all the time, but like every once in a while, Sam would say a line, and then I would say a line. And then we all sat down and we watched the end of the movie together, and I still get choked up at the end.
Oh, yeah.
I was like holding back tears. It's such a good movie.
I'm trying to remember. There's 3 quotes that I can remember off the top, and that's like, don't get the clap. He signs the baseball.
Yeah.
Don't get the clap.
No, avoid the clap.
Avoid the clap.
Jimmy Dugan.
What if oops, I'm running and all of a sudden
my
bosoms fall out.
You think there's a man in this country that's not seen your bosom?
Yeah.
Rosie O'Donnell. And then, of course, there's no crying in baseball.
There's no crying in baseball. My favorite line.
You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose. And it smacks him in the face.
Yeah.
We're gonna win.
Still Will Angel.
Sorry.
My favorite line, because my dad also loves this movie, showed me this movie because I played softball growing up. My dad was my coach for most of my childhood. And I do like to swing at the high ones. And so he'd always be like, hey, Karin, lay off the high ones. And I'm like, but I like the high ones. Mule, nag. And I was like 10 when I was doing this. But it carried into high school.
And all the kids on the team were like,
fuck are they doing? What is happening?
Yeah, all the parents were laughing. But
you'll get it when you're older.
Yeah, it carried into my high school playing. And my dad wasn't my coach anymore, but he'd be on the bench yelling it at me. And I'd be yelling back to the point where I got my hit and I made his third base. And my coach came over to me and he's like, who is that man that keeps yelling at you? And I was like, he's like, should I be worried? I was like, no, that's my dad. We have a bit. And, then that's when I realized my softball coach in high school had never seen A League of Their Own.
Oh, what a loser.
I know. Yeah. But anyway, it holds up. Fantastic movie. I still have to watch the show.
It's so good.
I've heard
really
that,
good.
but
I'm
mad
that
right?
it's canceled.
Yeah.
It's still worth it.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to watch it.
Also,
I've heard only good things.
It ends in such a way where it's like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, I want more,
but
it's okay.
Yeah. It's not like a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a cliffhanger, but not the kind where it's just like,
oh no!
I don't know what's going to happen.
Does the entire team fall off of the roof?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's fine.
Yeah. Fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it, please see it. Even if you're not a big baseball fan, it's just such a good movie.
I saw this in the theaters.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, when did it come out?
92, 93.
Yeah, I was like 11.
1992.
Yeah, I went and saw it in the theater with my dad.
It's amazing.
How much did they try and get you to play softball?
Not that much.
Throughout the course of the day?
Not that much. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I'd be willing to.
Just wait for it.
I'd be willing to.
It's supposed to be hard. If it wasn't hard, everyone would do it. The hard is what makes it great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what she said. Yeah. I because of the show that came out 2 years ago, we went back and revisited the film.
I had a friend.
Yeah.
Maybe it was you. I don't remember. You could tell me if it's not.
An acquaintance.
We had on paper.
Yeah.
Relax. We had a friend who we got in a legitimate argument because he truly believed that that's Gina Davis in makeup.
I learned that.
I
learned that.
No, it's not.
They just
from
dub
Sam.
her voice.
Yeah.
I didn't know until Sam said it. And I was like, why have I not known this?
They dubbed her voice. Like Gina Davis did the dialogue. They dubbed her voice and just had a different actress.
Her voice fits so well on that actress.
Yeah. Well, they cast well.
They cast very well. And I could see it now when I was watching.
He was
makeup is not that good.
He was adamant, like, no, it was Gina Davis. They aged her up. I'm like, nope. You
are a fool,
dumb little man. Like, I got that, but I was just like, I need you to fucking just live in this world.
Yeah.
For 1 second
so
and
funny.
just let it go.
I hope they're listening right now.
Yeah.
I don't remember who it is, so it must have been a really, really
chime up in the comments. Be like,
probably somebody that you worked with at one point.
It is Gina Davis.
And I killed them. Anyway.
Hey.
Moving on to another one of my movies that I'm obsessed with.
Yeah. Well, what are we talking about today? I completely forgot the topic.
The show.
We are talking about the Twilight Saga, New Moon, 2009. Rotten Tomato critic score is a 28%.
28.
Yeah.
Which is wrong. Audience score is 61%, which is still wrong for me. That's still not high enough. This is my favorite of the Twilight movies, and I cannot tell you why, because I get sad every time I watch it. I don't know. It's like, I will put this on as a comfort movie sometimes, and I'm like, I'm sad right now. Why do I want to watch this? And I was talking to Ray about it at the shop because I told him that it was my favorite.
Yeah.
Like, that's interesting. And I'm like, maybe I just like when I'm sad, I want to see somebody else that's sad too and like gets through it.
Yeah.
Like,
At least I'm not scream dreaming.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
As far as I know.
My favorite line of this whole movie too, though, was like, I guess I'm like an adrenaline junkie now. Like,
yeah, I guess.
I guess I'm an adrenaline junkie.
After she gets on a stranger's motorcycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, yeah, we got that. It's text on the screen.
The
like,
best acting in this entire film is Anna Kendrick when her friend walks down.
What the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, they seem really great. Can we go?
Yeah,
Like,
she seemed really great.
Yeah.
Go now?
She's so good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, it is written by Melissa Rosenberg, who also wrote Twilight 2008, directed by Chris Weitz. It's not directed by Catherine Hardwicke this time, and it stars a lot of the same cast: Kristen Stewart, Robert Pattinson, Taylor Lautner, Billy Burke, Ashley Greene, Peter Facinelli, Anna Kendrick, as well as some new cast of characters that I'm going to discuss a little later. And this movie is about Edward. Spoiler, not really spoiler, happens in the beginning. Edward leaves Bella because of an incident involving Bella. Jacob becomes her new best friend. But what Bella doesn't realize is that Jacob also has a secret that will change their lives suddenly.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
suddenly.
Was it sudden for him? He got jacked. That took a while, right?
I'm going to get into
Those
that.
abs.
I'm going to get into that.
They were a little airbrushed, right?
I think they might,
No,
not a lot.
Not a lot. Only a little.
Only a little.
Only a little.
They only used a little.
Those, at least 4 of the 6 were his.
I licked them and I did not get any paint on my tongue.
Yep.
Because they were on the television. Christopher Goodnight's in the chat saying they've canceled so many shows with sapphic storylines, and League of Their Own and Grease, Rise of the Pink Ladies both got the boot.
That's right.
Year.
I forgot about Grease, Rise of the Pink Ladies.
I never saw that.
I didn't either.
It was, I mean, that's the...
Sapphic.
Maybe that's why, but also nobody watched them and it's expensive to keep IP.
Yeah.
Mm.
I was surprised that not enough people watched that because everyone I knew was talking about League of Their Own.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. We're
no,
back to licking television.
We have small circles.
I lick television.
Yeah.
So a little bit about the development of New Moon. So after the very, very early success of Twilight, they Summit Entertainment greenlit New Moon like immediately in November 2008, right after this came out.
Weren't they writing it for like Melissa Rosenberg was like writing it for 5 months before the movie even came out? Like they were like crossing their fingers and paid her to spec script to start writing.
I don't expect you to know this. Where in the novels are we at? Like the first novel came out, second novel came out. We're working on the second novel. How many novels were out at this point?
3.
Okay.
I know because I read all of them in one summer. It was 2008. I read Twilight in 3 days, immediately went and bought this one, this specific book.
That's so cute.
And then I think I bought New Moon and Eclipse at the same time. You'll probably see my tear stains on some pages.
Not even signed.
But I did go, I knew the last book was coming out, Breaking Dawn was coming out at the end of the summer in August. And my cousin and I went to go to the store together. This is the same cousin that my dad would drive me to go see the movies with. We went to Barnes & Noble together like the day it came out and bought it. And we would have sleepovers where we would just be reading our individual books. And I'd be like, did you get this book yet? Well, actually, she would say that to me because she read faster than me. But yeah.
I don't know if these things happen anymore. Like, do kids read books?
They do. It's like horny books now. Like
now?
No, I mean like explicitly horny books, like the Thorn of Roses. Faces
yes, all 4
movies.
Sorry, Christopher St. Saucy Goodnight's in the chat saying all 4 novels were out before the first movie was out. Yes,
you,
I believe by August 2008, all the movies were out because that was the summer I was 15. And books, sorry, not movies. And then November 2008 is when the first Twilight came out, and I'd already read all the books at that point, probably multiple times at that point.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
Sorry for the sidetrack.
No, you're fine.
Yeah,
that's what we're talking about.
So what I understood was these books are magic. No, that
Literally.
they
want to open to
what was it? Summit Entertainment only had the rights to the first movie, but it's like literally that weekend they got the rights for the rest of the books.
They got greenlit,
and then we're like day 2 officially in production, and they even like called their shot like next November, which is a stupid turnaround.
Yeah, it was I remember it was always in November because like I said, my parents would plan, or not always plan, but sometimes it just coincided with like Thanksgiving, and I'd be able to go see it with my cousin who lived in a different.
Being an obsessive Saw fan, also, were you feasting? Like every year in October, we would get a Saw movie, and then every November you would get a Twilight movie.
I was having a great time.
That's a good stuff.
Yeah. I was mentally unwell. I was undiagnosed, but I thought I was having a good time.
Yeah. Well, in retrospect,
I needed medication. But hey,
a hug.
I
Do you want to play a game?
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Go on.
Yeah, these books were my summer 2008. Like that, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Melissa Roseberg wrote this script again. Same writer as Twilight, and at the same time she was writing this, she was also writing for this Showtime show, Dexter.
Yeah.
What?
She was a writer for Dexter.
That's cool.
That was her start.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
So principal photography started for this in March 2009, and it wasn't in Portland this time. They shot in Vancouver, Canada in March.
Wait, that's a whole different area?
Yep. I'm going to get into that.
Wait, what?
I thought it was the exact same house and everything.
Nope.
Oh, no, they redid the house because they didn't have a bay window for that shot.
For the shot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
And May 2009 is when they went to Montepulciano, Italy. Sure, that's how you say it. That's how you say it, right?
They bothered going to Italy.
They went to Italy. They went to Italy for the Volterra scenes. What's that?
Montepulciano.
Montepulciano.
I am offended by that.
Sorry, I know that because it's also a type of grape that they make wine.
Was it? What does he say in Glorious Bastards? Dominic de Coco.
Dominic de Coco. Yeah.
So the fork scenes in Twilight, like I said, were shot in Portland. So Vancouver was a big change. Wow. Vancouver was chosen because it allowed higher production value, while the surrounding area contained beautiful forests and also some gray weather, which is the trademark for all of Twilight.
Sushan went, how come he's out in this? How come he's allowed out? Because he was going to school, and I'm like, it's
slightly overcast.
Yeah.
The wind blows and he's fucked. So they came up to the issue of reconstructing key sets, like we were talking about, of the first film. So for the exterior of Forks High School, crew members were able to find a parking lot. And for the school steps, they needed to be filmed on a green screen with backing to match the original Twilight presentation. And actually, David Thompson's secondary school was used for the interior shots. So I think they're only interior for like the lunch scenes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like,
I don't think you ever have another moment in the school.
No, you do. In the classroom when they're watching Romeo and Juliet. But that's
right.
just like any random classroom.
That's right. When he's saying that he's jealous of
She's just
suicide.
there sitting by herself while all her friends are at the table next to, like, come on.
Yeah.
God damn it.
She was depressed.
But you can still sit with your friends. Just not say much.
But if she doesn't want to sit with them, what are they going to force her?
It's weird.
Beg her?
Maybe.
I think in the books, I could be misremembering. I think they for a while, they attempt to sit with her, and then she's just
nothing.
So then they're all right, we'll give her space. And then she eventually comes around and they're like, what?
Let me ask you out immediately.
I know.
Oh, you just sat down for the first time in months? Hi.
You're speaking?
You want a bone?
Yeah.
Can we bone? Movie? Bone?
He's so thirsty.
Yeah.
Mike?
Mike, yeah.
Ugh,
Mike Newton.
Douchebag.
Yeah.
Gore, I gotta go vomit.
So the Cullen house was one of the major match assignments that they needed. Yeah, he is a baby. And mainly because the Portland area had such a unique design with the big windows and all the light.
Pacific Northwest is awesome.
It's so awesome.
Every way.
So they had to find a house in Vancouver that was similar and emulated high ceilings and glass walls and the surrounding forest location. And to keep up with the design of the original house, there were portions of this story that took place in rooms that we just hadn't seen in the original in Twilight.
Convenient.
So we'd never seen their living room. We saw their kitchen and Edward's room and their main entryway. So when you're at the birthday party, it's in the living room.
Yeah.
And when he's talking about the Volturi and you see the giant painting with Carlisle in it, you're in the library, or I think in the book it's Carlisle's office, but library study.
So they didn't rebuild the whole home.
They didn't rebuild the whole home. They found a home that was similar in shot and okay, we can pass this as a living room that we haven't seen. How can you
recreate his spider monkey bedroom?
This can be the den or the
Hold up. So the first Cullen home that's all glass and cool as shit. Was that not made for the movie? That was an existing house?
An existing house.
I think it was an existing house in Portland, right?
That looks like a movie set.
I think you can go there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Sorry,
And you can go to the Portland
You can also buy
Swan
a
House.
Lego of the Cullen house.
Yes, I
Can
know.
I?
You sent it to
Yeah.
me.
I think it's like $300.
It's
Yeah.
like $500 or
That's
something.
too many
Shut
bucks.
your face.
I may or may not be going on my wedding registry.
Do it. I did that with
We should
the
all chip in.
with the. I actually did that with the Super Mario Brothers like big block. I got that for my
That's true.
birthday. I
Oh,
got that
that's
for
so
my
cool.
wedding.
You know, we're all
Yeah.
gonna get it, but we're gonna build it.
Right
You're not
here.
gonna have any fun of building it. We're just
It'll
gonna
be-
give it to you.
It'll be a live.
Can you like mix up some of the pieces?
Yeah, just we're gonna build it
Like,
wrong.
yeah. Yeah. Like instead of Bella being on Edward's back, it's vice versa.
It's supposed to be 4 stories, right? I just winged it. Yeah.
You had like random Legos from like Kai. You just
Yeah,
threw in some
There's some
Mario's
Diplo
in
in
there.
there. So
Yeah.
spice it up.
Luigi. Hold on a second. So I remember
Yeah,
when I
let's-
first heard about the books, I thought that they sounded stupid. And then I was bored and virtually homeless in Walmart 1 month-ish. And I read a large portion of the first one and then bought it and returned it and bought the second one. And then possibly did the same with the last 2. My man. I almost got caught shoplifting the host and quickly ditched it and then bought it.
Wait, hang
yeah.
on. Pink had mentioned earlier. I always had a good feeling about it, but I've never gotten around to watching A League of Their Own.
Watch
Are
it.
you referring to the
show
movie or the show?
movie?
Yeah, I want to know. which one.
Both great, but gun to my head, watch the movie
Yeah,
immediately.
it's so
Yeah.
good.
So good.
I also want to address Penny said for her depressed girl staring out the window shot,
That's the one.
New
Best shot in the whole movie. Very cool.
and they have it in the book too. October,
Blank page.
November,
Blank page.
December.
Blank page.
Way
That-
to crush that page count.
That I know, right? She's really getting her money's worth.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like a YouTuber having like 3-minute credits, so they hit that 10-minute mark.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
funny.
that shook me to my core when I was 15. That part in the book,
That's
I was
so,
like,
I mean, that's cool.
that
I mean, it was pretty cool.
That, like,
I don't want to.
I was so,
Yeah,
I
I
was
work
telling
for
them
you.
about this before we started. I cannot explain to you how devastated I was reading this book.
If we get too haterade, stop us. 'Cause
No, it's
This
fine.
is fun. I don't
it's
dislike
fun, but,
any of
like,
this stuff. It's just kind of fun to
I
poke
just
at.
like thinking about the mental state I was in when I was 15, and I was there.
Mhm.
Edward
Mm.
broke up with me. I was there, and I was just like, I was devastated. It was
Well, it's
crazy.
neat though because you have a personality.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
What
And
Edward
Bella
doesn't.
does not.
Oh, she's
Bella
got a
is a
personality.
blank slate. I hate her.
She's got a personality.
What is it?
She's an adrenaline junkie now.
Oh, that's
Yeah, did you? Yeah, we're gonna get
That's
it.
a
She's
adrenaline
an adrenaline junkie now. Can we also address this scene
Yes,
where?
please. Yes.
Sorry,
Yeah.
where first off, the scene where to save her from the paper cut and the vampire, Edward throws her across
No.
the room.
Yeah.
He doesn't throw her. He yeets her.
He yeets her,
Yeah.
resulting in
empty.
her
Yeet.
cutting open her arm. So Carlisle, the doctor vampire, has to stitch her up.
Yep.
The sexual tension in the scene between Carlisle and Bella, she's like,
yeah, she's like, kiss me.
there's something happening. And that's all I wanted to say.
You waited to watch that scene. That was really funny. Like
I know I stayed
and
in your house to watch that with you.
I thought about it. I thought about it for a little long, like afterwards too. It was just like, hey, I'm gonna protect you. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
My
man?
slow motion toss you
There's
across the
no
room.
way she didn't also break some ribs.
Yeah.
Like there's no
That was a big
That is
Yeah.
such. Was that in the book like that? Like,
Yes.
I'm gonna throw you across the
Yes.
room. Such a weird fucking choice. How about the tables next to her or something like that? Like, does
How
he
about-
have to
I understand. I
How
understand the
about
fact
picking
that
her up and running?
yeah,
You're
Like,
so fast. You're a spider monkey.
having
Get out.
you know the quick reaction of trying to protect her and like not knowing his own strength at that moment and
Mm-hmm.
like accidentally tossing her like a rag doll. I get it,
He's 109.
but it's also hilarious.
It is really
It's
funny.
really
That's
funny,
also
yeah.
a memeable moment in the
Yeah.
movie. Yeah. Back to production.
Oh,
Sorry.
yes.
No, it's okay. The Swan House, the exterior was accomplished by recreating the house on an empty lot. And for the interior, they shot on a stage in Vancouver and built like set pieces for the house. They used pieces of the house and also just a different sound stage in Vancouver to do other rooms.
Were a lot of these choices made because of the fast turnaround? Like,
I'm
it
guessing.
takes a while to get a production up. Like,
yeah.
licensure, like permits and stuff for locations, and then we're talking like, hey, we just filmed this movie. We're gonna do another one in 6 months.
Yeah.
Like, what's available, what's not available. Let's rebuild it.
Yeah.
Go to
I think
Vancouver.
so.
Like,
there was a quick,
Yeah.
rapid turnaround
yeah,
here.
like they.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand how wild it is to literally turn in a script and less than a year later, it's in theaters.
Yeah.
That is not a
Scream
normal
2?
thing. Yeah, Scream 2 was like 9
Nightmare
months.
on Elm Street 2?
Mm-hmm.
Same? Similar?
X-Men First Class, less than a year from
No
start
kidding.
to finish.
Really?
Well,
Yeah.
wow, that's not bad.
I mean, it's like
one of the best one,
X-Men
yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Continue.
Next spot was Jacob's house. They were using the Quileute country in Washington as their base, so the production team decided to place Jacob's house on like the edge of like a foresty type of territory, rather than like within a community, because they wanted it to represent his attachment to like the wolves and his wolf pack. And to
Spoiler
Chris
alert.
White's, I know, sorry.
His Chippendale dancers.
Yeah. To Chris White's, Jacob's house was like the stepping stone into the forest world where the werewolves reality starts. And then next, Volterra, Italy. What?
I don't know why that makes me think.
Reality of werewolves.
No. I just love that. Like, so Chris Weitz has done a couple of other movies, but one of them being like American Pie. I like the idea of the him and the White Lotus guy did American Pie together. Mike White.
Mike.
Yeah.
Mike.
But I love
He likes
the
to call him
idea.
Mike.
I love the idea of the American, and this is going to sound hater, but it's actually pretty funny. The idea of the American Pie guy trying to like thematically work out where to place his house and how that means for his character. Like working it out on paper, like the edge of the forest, and he's stuck between worlds.
He's a
You know,
wolf.
like-
And
But then like 5 years earlier, like, what if he fucks a pie? Like-
but what if?
Yeah, but it's warm.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's just weird. Sorry,
Yeah.
go on.
No, it's fine.
Hey,
Fucking pies. Yeah.
Artiste. I'm going to make sure he did do American Pie to make sure I'm not wrong.
So Volterra, Italy. So they scouted more than 12 locations
Gorgeous.
to use for this.
What a gorgeous set. Or
And
location.
it took place in, oh my God, Montepulciano. Did I do good? So it was decided as the best representation of what was described in Stephanie Meyer's book for that dramatic scene of her running through the fountain, through the crowd of the festival, to stop some airbrushed abs from exposing themselves to sunlight.
Actually, I feel like he could have done a little bit more. Like poor Jacob did all that work to get buff for that movie. What's his name? Tyler Lautner.
I'm gonna get
did
into
all of that shit to get.
They were gonna
to get
recast
that
him
look.
if he didn't.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tyler Lautner.
They were
gonna
gonna recast him, and he heard about it. But so, I'll skip to that, and then I'll go back to what I was gonna say. So Taylor almost didn't return as Jacob because in the books it's described as like suddenly Jacob he like looks like maybe he's a little bit older than his age, like he's 16, but he looks like he could be 18.
Yeah.
And then suddenly when he stops talking to Bella, and then Bella sees him again, he looks like he's 25.
Oh, okay.
And so they're like, all right, we need somebody who can actually look
Pull that off,
look
yeah.
like they're a buff 25-year-old. So Taylor Lautner heard this, and to keep his role, he went on a strict workout regimen and gained 30 pounds of muscle.
Yeah.
Holy cats.
So they
That is
weren't
not
airbrushed
healthy.
abs. He worked for those.
Wow. I'm sorry, Taylor.
Yeah, I think he might have discussed some issues he's had from going through that process. Again, I
Worth
have
it.
like he worked for it. They almost didn't cast him again because they're like, we need someone who looks like not
Oh,
like a
man.
cute little
What-
teenage
good
boy.
thing he heard about it. Shit.
Yeah. I wonder if
think
they
they could
maybe
just
I wonder if
ask?
they maybe didn't tell him. They were like, okay, we'll cast you for like the pre-werewolf
Right, for
guy,
baby-
and he's like,
baby
wait, I
wolf.
want to be post-werewolf guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah,
Gotcha.
he gained 30 pounds of muscle, and this is from like this is a short film time. Like within a year, he gained
That's
within
crazy.
less than a year, he gained 30 pounds. So like it was
Unhealthy.
announced in November 2008 that they were filming it, and they started in March 2009 shooting.
Wow.
So he
Whoa.
put on 30 pounds of muscle.
I mean, plus or minus like 2 months because he might have
Yeah,
heard about it.
that's
like,
still insane.
Before they started like.
The hair on his stomach in that scene was gross.
Oh yeah, for the Volterra scene where he's coming out and he like
Edward.
he's got body hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His little trail.
Yeah, he's got a little happy trail on his stomach.
Sorry he went all natural, Penny.
sorry.
So a lot of the same cast of characters is in this movie as we discussed before, but with the notable introduction of the Quileute Wolfpack and the Volturi clan. So
The boys.
The boys.
Yeah,
So we
my boys.
have
The shirtless
Chasky
boys.
Spencer as Sam Yulee, who's the leader, the Wolfpack leader.
Alpha.
Tyson Houseman as Quileute.
The Tate.
Tate.
Andrew Tate.
The Cobra Tate.
That was a joke.
The
Oh my
Wolfie
God.
Tate.
That guy sucks. Good.
Kiowa Gordon as Embry Call, Alex Mraz as Paul LaHoot, Tinsley Corey as Emily Young, who's Sam's fiance.
Mm-hmm.
She was wonderful. One scene.
Yeah, she was great. She had the
very charming.
face though. Yeah,
Don't stare.
Don't stare. It upsets Sam. Martin Sheen as Arrow, who's one of my favorite parts of this movie.
Yeah, the name.
Different Martin Sheen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh wait, maybe I got the name wrong. Hold on, let me check that.
So I was like, where is Martin Sheen in this movie?
It's President Whitmore.
As
wait, I might have gotten the name wrong. Hold on.
You keep going. I'll look.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe it's Michael Sheen. I think it's Michael Sheen. I said.
Oh, Michael Sheen.
Michael Sheen.
Yeah, Michael Sheen.
I fucked up.
Oh yeah,
I fucked up. I just typed
Mikey Sheen.
Mikey Sheen.
The shitty Voltaire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike Sheen.
Oh yeah, that's where I do know him.
Yeah.
The main Voltaire, the touchy boy.
Yeah.
Touchy boy, yeah.
The convenient touchy boy.
Yeah. Not Michael Sheen. Or not Martin Sheen. Sorry, Martin Sheen.
Again, also.
Sorry, Martin Sheen. I meant
Martin
Michael.
Sheen would be dope.
I meant Jamie Campbell Bower as Caius,
Vecna.
who you texted me. You're like, Vecna's in this?
Can I do an impression of his role in this movie?
Yeah.
Perfect. Nailed him.
So I did my red contacts in and I put them in, so I got home from work and I showered, keep doing it.
We both know how this will go.
Yes. Love this. So I showered, I dried my hair, and then I just put in my contacts first because I don't want to touch my eyes after I do my makeup.
Sure.
And
as one does.
And so I kind of looked at myself in the mirror and I'm like, if I just straighten my hair a little bit, I could look like Jamie Campbell Bower's character if I had no makeup on.
It is a choice. He's got one line in this movie and he is just slouched down in his throne.
Yeah.
But I did immediately go, Vecna!
Yep.
Yeah.
Costa did the same thing. Christopher Heyerdahl as Marcus, who I wish we learned more about in the movies. He's he's the quiet guy in the Volturi. He's the third one in the chair.
Oh, the one that seems tortured?
Yeah.
Big tall boy.
He's tortured for a reason, which we'll get into. I think we get into it in Eclipse Breaking Dawn.
He's upset about being marble?
He kind of hates it. Yeah, he does. Breaking Dawn Part 2 is when we talk about it.
So does Blondie.
Yes, and we're going to get into that next time, why she hates it. Dakota Fanning is Jane, which is the look that I decided to go for tonight instead of just staring into the camera like a creep.
Every so often, she just mentally gives us pain.
Staring into everybody. Everybody, quick, do, what's his name?
What?
The fucking Vecna.
Caius.
Everyone do Caius. Okay. It's a drinking game now.
Yes. Please, can we make it a drinking game? Before I was talking to Noel and I said I was going for the Jane look. And he's like, which one's Jane? I was like, the one who inflicts pain. He's like, oh, so how are you going to inflict pain on us? And I'm like, this podcast.
Yeah, welcome.
Making you do this.
You're watching it.
And Cameron Bright is Alec, who we don't see much of. I think he might be one of the vampires that fights Edward in the dramatic scene, but he is Jane's twin.
Oh, the tall guy, the big guy?
No, I think it's a smaller one. The other, I don't know if I have that.
The one that what's his nuts fights is like a big guy, right?
That's Felix, and I forgot to write the actor's name down. So never mind, I lied.
I think we're fine.
Marcus looks like Kane the wrestler.
Yes.
Yes.
I agree with that.
I agree.
Who is now a politician.
Is he really?
Yeah, in Minnesota or some shit.
Aw, I like Minnesota. I've been there.
I like Minnesota.
Been there once, Minnesota.
They got cheese.
Oh.
Right?
Notably.
It's Wisconsin. Sorry.
Yes, no.
I'm sure you can get cheese in Minnesota as well.
None. You get no cheese in Minnesota.
All I know is that they're in the Bears division and they suck.
Aw.
Anyway, go on.
What were we going to say?
I wanted to say this for Noel.
Yeah.
Because this film has a much warmer tone.
It's true.
Than Twilight. So you can enjoy some of the greenery more, which we didn't get in Twilight because of the blue tint.
This movie, the first movie was just all blue steel. This movie is like, hey, did you know there's seasons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We show them to you.
Yeah.
There's a possibility. You see them all in the window. That's the song I played.
But still, you're in the Pacific Northwest. I mean, even if it's overcast, the trees are still brown and green.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
Yeah.
Side note, my son, because it's winter right now and all the trees are leafless, he'll look out the window. The trees are broken.
He's right.
Yeah.
They're dead.
Yeah. That's what I tell him.
Yeah. You're right, son.
You're right. They're broken.
We only hope they return.
Yeah, they're never coming
not,
back.
We should all go. Now, saying.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
As in move to a more metropolitan area where you don't see the death.
Oh,
okay. I get it now.
You guys are dark.
Yeah. I'm like Edward. I'm Edward in the beginning of this movie, dreaming of death.
Dreaming of yeeting my girlfriend.
Yeah. So Christopher Weitz stated that he wanted the golden tones for this movie because he was inspired by Italian paintings.
You mean like the very fake Italian paintings that are in this movie, like twice?
The one fake Italian painting. Yeah. Oh, but come on, you get to go into it.
Yeah, but when you go into it, though, it does look like a weird Photoshop filter.
Yeah,
it does.
I'm like, oh, that's like a fake oil painting. That's pretty cool. And then they go in, you're just
had a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or don't do it.
Fine.
You reach for the stars. You don't let Noel tell you not to reach for the stars.
No, hey, it's fine. This movie's wonderful.
Yeah, so
10 stars.
You're gonna laugh about like all the different camera angles used to portray different examples of relationships, aren't you? Okay, so film was used as opposed to digital. 2 Panavision cameras, a high-speed Arri 435 camera. I don't know any of this. Shot 150 frames per second. A Steadicam and a Vistacam were all used for visual effects and all of the shooting in this. Camera shots, according to the director, Christopher Weitz, who also directed
American Pie.
American Pie.
He co-directed with his brother.
Co-directed American Pie.
Yeah.
He wanted to portray different story points with camera angles. So when Bella was with Edward, the camera moved on a dolly in a rigid straight line to portray everything was smooth and that they are perfect together. Or are they?
Did notice some of this shit. Also, too, the matching with the transformations is really well done for less than a year.
Yeah.
But go on.
When Bella was with Jacob, a Steadicam was used for a more fluid and organic feel because things just feel like really natural with him. Like she's able to just get into it. And then there was no explanation for this, but when she's with her other high school friends, a handheld camera is used.
That shit's noticeable.
Yeah.
And I liked a lot, if we're talking about production now, right?
Yeah.
I liked a lot how we keep talking about the shot of her in her bedroom searching the season shades, but he does that a couple times, like with the bike rebuild. Like he does a lot of like hidden shot or hidden cuts in shots to show the passage of time, which was very effective. And you could only do that with like really, really good matching mechanical shots, which they also used for the transformations. You know, like Jacob goes from this big to this big in the same dolly shot, so you have to like electronically like have it match,
right?
Which is hard to do unless you have one of those cameras that just like I'm lost for words, Dylan, where you have to actually like program in the exact motion, right? Like twice over a plate shot.
Or like a slider? What are you talking about?
Well, like you have to have like you literally program in a computer the motion of the camera to match 2 different plate shots in order to like make a transformation.
Yeah, I mean like setting keyframes.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool. It was cool. It was all cool. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
The CG was actually pretty solid considering
this was
amount of time.
Better.
Is that next?
That's next. This is fun.
For a movie that was done in less than a year. It is a prettier looking movie, and it is a better produced movie.
I think,
and there's none of those shots with the. Remember from the first movie where they're running up the mountains?
The terrible like Dragon Ball Z looking shots.
God damn it. And he's screaming.
Well, like I in my head, I heard the stupid like Flintstones, like
or like the Mr. Krabs walk.
Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah,
but anyway, Catherine Hardwicke.
Pink is in the chat saying that I'm a film camera nerd. Thank you for the details. I'm glad that I included it. So overseeing visual effects was Susan MacLeod, who was previously worked with Weitz on The Golden Compass, and
Never saw it.
Tippett Studio created the computer-generated wolves, while Prime Focus of Vancouver handled all the vampire effects.
Tippett's no joke.
Smoother running, I'm assuming, is what the Prime Focus handled, as opposed to the weird running of Twilight. So Tippett...
A new sound effect every time we talk about it. How do you do a chicken noise?
Wait, everybody do Caius. Tippett was able to reflect leadership and human muscle size by adjusting certain features of the wolves, such as their fat, height, and weight. And they went to a wolf mountain sanctuary to study like wolf movement habits and like how they moved as a like a pack.
Embedded
Mhm.
for 5 years as a wolf, a whole family.
Wearing a wolf
Yeah.
costume.
Like, I was married in that sanctuary. I had a family.
To a wolf.
Yeah.
Married to a wolf.
Wolf. Anyway.
The wolf scenes were shot with or included shooting plates, so photographic imagery into the CGI creations are integrated.
That's awesome.
And in the book, the wolves are described as literally being as big as horses. So full-scale aluminum and board cutout wolves were used as a visual reference for both actors and the crew members.
Did they have fuzzy ones?
I want to see these cutouts.
Or just like cardboard ones?
I don't know.
It'd be cool if they had fuzzy ones.
I bet you there's a Twilight museum. I bet you they're
I
there.
did read.
I'm sorry, are you kidding?
No, it's
There's
in
a
Forks.
legit Twilight museum?
I think it's in Forks. I don't
There's
know how
a
much they
museum
have.
for everything.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in Forks. Remember when I talked about the Forks Festival that they do every year? I think it's like a main stopping point for fans.
I did also read somewhere that they basically only did Jacob's wolf and then just like half-assed the other ones based off of his design because that was the hero wolf.
Yeah.
Cool.
That was it. Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yeah, they
Nailed it.
basically,
I do have a plot question.
Yes.
When do we talk about the movie? Just like, I mean, we're talking about the movie.
When do we start the show?
When do we start?
This is
Are
all
we
off
recording?
camera, right? This is great practice.
Yeah, I was just gonna touch on music and then critical.
Did what's his name actually die? Edie Gathegi?
Harry Clearwater? Yes.
Is that his name?
Yeah. Well, he sees the vampire and goes to shoot her, and then a wolf gets him, and he's
No, the guy with the dreadlocks from.
Oh, Laurent.
Does he actually die?
Yes. They got him.
That is such a weird, like.
They got him.
Mostly off camera.
Yeah.
Like, by the
took
way,
care of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like,
Bella.
That's kind of okay.
Bella
It's a
escapes
choice.
at that point, but she thinks because she doesn't know what the wolves are, and she doesn't know that they're literally made to hunt vampires.
Mhm.
So she thinks like, oh, those wolves are dead.
Yeah.
Like, and Laurent
He
is coming
will
after me.
murder them. Yeah.
So like, I think we don't see it because she doesn't see it, and she thinks it didn't happen.
But
and
then they show it anyway.
Then they show it
Yeah,
anyway
I'm
when
like,
Jacob's
alright.
like, no, we got him. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Right on.
we ripped him apart. He's dead.
Right on.
Yes, he's dead.
Oh, another thing that really pissed me off in the movie. The whole thing. No.
Being here right now.
Credits.
Okay, so she.
Large wolf stand-in. Lot number
Dylan's showing
335.
us a picture of
It
the wolf
is
stand-ins.
not fuzzy.
No, it's just white board.
It's not fuzzy at all.
Yeah.
You know what?
As
Can we
opposed to
vote on it, or
Dylan,
can
the
we-
werewolf, who is very
We
fuzzy.
buy it. How much is it?
Immersion destroyed. Oh, it's closed.
Closed. Damn it.
So there is Bella decides to jump off the cliff. It happens right after the scene where she confides into Jacob, or somewhere after the scene where she confides to Jacob, like, I know what she's here for. She's coming after me.
Yeah.
I was under the impression to the scene leading up to that like, oh, that's going to be her motivation. She's going to maybe try and off herself to save Forks or whatever.
No.
But no,
She's just an adrenaline junkie now.
I'm just like an adrenaline junkie now.
An
And for
adrenaline junkie now.
and that out of everything in this movie, that pissed me off. Because it's like the most weird, selfish thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That really bothered me. It made me stop rooting for her altogether because we see her be reckless. We see her be overly emotional. She's just given this information that there are people in her neighborhood that are dying because something is coming after her. And I'm like, yeah,
Well, time to die.
yeah. Well, not even like time to die. It's just like your loss, your pain. Now you have a noble reason to make this choice.
Yep.
And they go out of their way to say like, no, it's just cause.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
She's an adrenaline
Because I want to see Edward's
She
ghost.
hallucinates. I also want to say, when I was reading the book, deep in my 15-year-old
Adolescence?
headspace, yeah, I kept convincing myself, like, as she's having visions of Edward throughout the book, that he was somehow, that was another one of his powers. He was somehow projecting himself.
no.
No.
Wait, what?
She's fully, she asks him when he comes back, when he comes back,
That's
and
until
they're
book 3,
eh,
4.
She asks him, like, were you like sending me messages or something? Like,
He's
and
like,
he's like, what are you talking
"What?"
about? And she's like, oh, I would see you when I'd be doing dangerous stuff. And he literally is like, we should like get you to see someone. And she's like, no, just make me a vampire.
But even
Wait, so then none of that was in the movie though, right?
no.
It's not explained in the movie.
No, it's not
Did I miss
explained in
that?
the movie.
Oh.
But
No.
even
I thought he
She's
was using his
She's hallucinating. Nope. She's hallucinating.
even
Whoa.
her.
And she's immune to his telepathy anyway.
She's so unwell.
She's
It
unwell.
feels like a weird choice from Stephanie Meyer. Like, you know, as the writer, as the director, you're the voice and eyes of God for your story. It's all of the things that you created are manipulated into this one moment where this person who is probably suicidal anyway has an excuse to be nobly so.
Yeah.
And you explicitly take that from her and just continue to make her selfish. It just seemed so
Maybe she
weird.
didn't want the main character of a book that a lot of teenage girls were reading to consider suicide.
I think that was it.
Then that removes the entire, because she's doing that. She's putting herself in danger to feel the whole time. And the natural, or the what is it? The logical conclusion of that is to have an excuse to, and then be proven wrong. They give her an excuse to, and she gets saved, and maybe she'd learn a lesson. But no, they literally remove that narratively from her, which is, I think, the opposite of the intent of Stephanie Myers, if that's the case, of not wanting to. Do you know what I mean?
I'm just saying, Stephanie Myers has made some choices.
And those choices perplex me because they don't necessarily make sense in any kind of logical narrative way.
Yeah.
I concur.
Yeah. Sorry. That
I'm
like,
just,
No,
it
you're
took
good.
me. It took me out of rooting for her in any way because it was the act of is a selfish act that is emotionally charged. But narratively, you can like at least understand why they might make that choice in that moment because the plot brought you there. And then they just take it away from her.
Well, then she also does a similar thing with Edward, which he does try to commit suicide, and it's only because
I feel
sad.
bad. Yeah. I
No, it's because he couldn't live in a world where
without
she doesn't exist.
exists.
Which is
Yeah,
just
that's where she doesn't
said,
exist.
and in the movie, not earned.
No.
Because he's not in the fucking movie.
But wait,
so we don't see his pain.
Did you get that it was a Romeo and Juliet parallel though? Did you get the subtleties of that?
The close-up
Did
of
you
her
get it?
sleeping next
Did
to the
you
book.
get
Romeo and
it?
Juliet, the novel.
Where like when Juliet pretends
I'm
she's
sorry,
dead and then
but if-
Romeo actually dies?
Wait a minute.
Did you get it?
I logically understand that. But when you have to use another piece of media to explain your media, you bad.
I don't know.
For more on what he's saying, you should listen to this podcast that I listened to called.
Oh, yeah.
I was. It's yes, ending. Good.
That's fine. That was funny.
I'm sorry.
I
Movie's
also
great, though.
want to
5
say, I think in the book, if I'm remembering correctly, again, I probably haven't read this since maybe 2010.
We'll wait.
When I
It makes me want to reread it though. I kind of want to.
Yeah, and I think she just hears his voice. Like, I think it's supposed to be more like her instinct to not endanger herself is Edward's voice telling her not to.
That I
but
get.
because they wanted this man's face in the movie, they made her have these visions.
Also, very cool. Speaking of special effects,
great
very
effect.
cool effect when something will like.
When she's on the
Or-
bike, it's the coolest.
Yeah.
Where
Oh
he's
my
like just
God. I
constantly
think when
showing
she's
up.
in the water,
That's pretty cool too.
the
That's
water,
cool,
and
too.
she's like looking at him as she's drowning, and then Jacob literally pulls her away.
So good.
Do you get it? Do you guys get it?
Wait,
Jacob pulled her away.
Yeah, but we
from
also.
Edward.
But-
Do you get it, guys?
But what's her nuts is in the water. I guess.
Victoria, yeah.
Yeah, so
And-
she's hold on. So she's coming
She's on her
to
way.
her. We see her swimming towards us, and then she bonks her head, and then she goes to sleep in the water, and then Jacob pulls her out. She couldn't. Why was she just hanging out over there?
Wolves. The wolves in the water.
It's the
Wolves.
so okay. So they're pedal. They're quadrupeds, right?
Yeah.
Off the cliff into the water, in the way of the vampire coming at her, slower than he can get down to her. It's just weird.
Wolves.
Yeah. It broke my immersion a little bit because I was
You're
enjoying
gonna
the
be so
trashiness of the
mad
movie,
about
and
a
then it was
plot
just like,
hole in Breaking Dawn Part 2, and I
Come on.
can't wait to get to the plot hole in Breaking Dawn Part
Anyway.
2. You're gonna
Oh.
be so mad about it. You might already know about it because you've seen them all already.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about
I've already forgotten.
it.
yeah, I'm gonna forget about it next month.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Where were we? are we
I
in
just
this
want to talk
movie?
a little bit about music and then how the critics thought of this, and then what we all thought of it, and then I want to talk about the Quileute tribe, the actual tribe.
Okay, great.
But first, let's talk about the music. So Alexandra Desplat composed the score for New Moon, while the rest of the soundtrack was chosen by the music supervisor, Alexandra Patsavas, who is the same person who chose the soundtrack for my favorite soundtrack, Twilight. The soundtrack is all original and exclusive songs, and it includes various indie and alternative rock artists,
including Death Cab for Cutie.
Death Cab for Cutie, Meet Me at the Equinox.
Love Death Cab.
Yeah, we have.
Okay Go is one of my faves.
So good.
Death Cab for Cutie. Yeah.
It's a good one.
Band of Skulls, Tom Yorkie, Leaky Lee, The Killers, Anya Marina.
Never heard of them. The Killers, I mean. I bet they crush.
Yep. I bet they kill.
I didn't say that.
We have Muse, of course. It's Stephanie Meyer's favorite band. You're going to find them on every soundtrack. Bon Iver and St. Vincent.
Little indie band called Muse.
Just a little.
Maybe heard of them.
You might have known them. Yeah. Black Rubber Motorcycle Club, Hurricane Bells, Sea Wolf, OK Go, Grizzly Bear, Editors, and yeah.
Not a bad.
Editors are great too.
And, yeah. Editors and then. What?
Not a bad little soundtrack.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you like it?
Massive soundtrack.
Do you like it more or less than the Twilight one?
Less.
Marginally.
Less.
I honestly forgot how much I did like this soundtrack,
right,
or it would
Paramore.
have been on my soundtrack list.
See also episode of the Cultpop Podcast Live. 115, I think.
187.
Anyway. Murder, Death, Kill?
Yeah.
Oh, police codes for murder. Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Do you own this soundtrack?
No.
Oh. Do you own this soundtrack?
I don't. I want to. I do
It's
own
it's
the.
available on vinyl.
I own the
2-disc set?
special edition. And it has. Hold on. Let
It's
me
got
get better
music
lighting.
videos on it.
Yeah, it has music videos. It has exclusive band rehearsal footage with Muse.
Oh.
And music videos from Death Cab for Cutie.
I love the idea that Muse was just in the
Marina,
studio
and
like,
Mute Math.
what the fuck is going on right
Mute
now?
Math isn't even on this soundtrack, and they're
Mute
out
Math?
here.
Who's not?
Mute Math. They're on the
Are they
original.
on the next one?
They're on the first one.
And whatever, they were just tossing shit in there to make it
Just
an awesome
shit in
edition.
here. Yeah.
Box
That's
office.
what you get on this.
Let me see.
Box office.
Box office.
Box office. Yeah. Let's talk about the box office. So theater showings sold out as early as 2 months before the release. And
Whoa.
yeah, I know.
They weren't even done making the movie yet.
That was
Kind
me.
of. They were finishing it. Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. I think that was me. Like I was buying. We bought all of them. No.
Also, like
Fandango.
the trailer releases for this were so weird because they were still filming the movie all year long. So it was just like 14-second snippets on the Scream Awards and 30-second snippet on the MTV Music Awards. Like there wasn't a trailer for this movie until like September.
I'm getting
or
like
October.
excited as you talk about it because I'm remembering this time in my life when I was like, oh my God, I got a little.
And a little sneak. Like
they
they sold this because it's the only one. It's the only release that had. It's the only video release that had information about Eclipse.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like behind the scenes featurette about Eclipse.
Yep.
So this is the ultimate edition.
Eclipse
So like
being the next one.
Yeah,
Got it.
Eclipse
Got
is
it.
the next one.
Got it.
So yeah, New Moon set records for advanced ticket sales. It was Fandango. I can't speak. Fandango's biggest advanced ticket seller, surpassing Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith.
Mm-hmm.
That's
What?
crazy.
Wait. Say that last bit again.
So Fandango advanced tickets.
Yeah.
It surpassed Episode 3, which was like 6
The
years
power
before
of the
that.
teenage girl.
Yeah.
Like we were saying last episode or this episode.
I say it every day.
That's true.
I
in the mirror,
scream it.
in the mirror as you put your hair behind your ears. The power.
I'm
of the
kind of an
teenage
adrenaline
girl.
junkie, and that's the
Adrenaline junkie.
That's the
And I am
power
a
of
32-year-old teenage girl.
Aren't we
I am
all?
powerful. New Moon set records as the biggest midnight opening in domestic US and Canada box office history to that point, grossing an estimated $26.3 million in 3,514 theaters.
I don't think it still holds the record. Also, there's no more midnight screenings. So
Yeah, that's true. I don't think I saw this one at midnight. I saw it like the day it came out, I'm pretty sure,
We
but
did not
not
be a
at
fan.
midnight. Did you really?
I saw it
Tell me all
midnight.
about it.
I'm a bigger fan than you.
I
Not bigger, better.
You told
I'm not
Wait.
a bigger fan, but I'm a better
Wait,
fan.
Sassy JD.
You told us last time one of your best friends was obsessed, so you guys all went to all of them.
Me and Becky and Sushan. Yeah, this and the Harry Potter films. We would each read the books and then
Harry
go
Potter
to
I went to midnight for,
the
but I was older
Yeah.
when the last few came out, so I could get myself places.
Yeah.
My parents were like, "We'll drive you 4 hours to go see this with your cousin, but we're not going to get you there at midnight."
Yeah.
Speaking
Like,
of,
fair
I
enough.
did find this really interesting. A lot of the box office records were jockeyed back and forth between Twilight and Harry Potter for like a 3-year span because the Twilight movies were coming out annually and the Harry Potter movies were like every other year. So they would basically just be like trading off box office records between these two movies.
That's fun.
Yeah, my two main franchises growing up were Twilight and Harry Potter, and
Both have aged
It's nice that we
incredibly
can
well.
still have this.
Yeah.
Right?
Both have
Man.
aged
No,
incredibly
Stephanie
well.
Meyer's not like transphobic now, is she?
I mean, she's
she hasn't
appropriator,
tweeted about it.
Perfect.
right?
Done.
Yeah.
She is.
All good
She wins.
all good
She hasn't
creators as
written
they
a
age.
4,000 word
Shut the fuck
paper.
up.
Yeah.
Just shut up.
God
Yeah.
damn it.
Some other records are crushed by Hunger Games a year after
Yeah.
Twilight ends. Yeah.
Oh, are we going to do the Hunger Games next?
Maybe. But
I
did
just
put in
bought
here-
a new book came out. I
Hang
just
on.
bought it.
Nice.
I like this.
My God,
if you
I love
think,
Hunger
if you
Games
think
too.
about like 2007 to 14.
This
2000
is why these are my
Just
Hunger
bought it.
Games.
Wait, hang on. So real quick.
What is it?
This wolf.
I just bought it.
No,
Angry.
angry wolves buy books. Yeah. Angry
Yeah.
wolves.
This is very much has to be the visual media.
Buy
If people are
books.
listening to audio, they're not going to get
I
this.
don't care.
Let's do it.
Watch it.
Yeah.
No, I thought this was really cool. There's like a 10-year span where everything was YA inspired supernatural
Yeah.
or sci-fi. The Divergent,
Divergent.
the Divergent
Oh.
shit hosts.
I read
these
two of
Hunger
those.
I read
Games.
those.
A
Divergent.
Maze Runner. Literally anything with teenagers in peril was a franchise.
I love Teenagers in Peril, man.
Mhm.
I mean-
I was starting like Hunger Games. I was like I was on the older end of like the main fans, but like the other like Divergent I read. And again, it was the same thing as like Percy Jackson, which I've talked about before. It was
yeah.
like my younger sister was getting into them. So like I'd read them too and we'd talk about them. We both,
cute.
she pre-ordered the new Hunger Games book too. I bought it and I'm very excited to start
My
it.
favorite Teenagers in Peril, Final Destinations.
Oh yeah.
There's a new one coming
Because
out
most
this year.
of them die.
My favorite Teenagers in Peril are Scream.
Oh, fuck.
And
Shit,
maybe
it might be
Nightmare on Elm
Scream.
Street.
Oh, come on. That's not fair.
You're gonna say you're a bigger Twilight fan than me. I'm gonna come for you.
Touche, salesman. All right.
My favorite Teenagers in Peril are all the after school specials that used to be on TV.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Degrassi.
kids. Yeah, Degrassi. Actually, yeah, that's a good answer.
Yeah.
Degrassi. Next generation though. The older
Next,
one's
yeah,
boring.
yeah.
I've never
that the one with
digressed a
Drake?
single time.
You never Degrassed?
No. Next, what are we doing?
Go.
Total
YA.
numbers. Yeah, so box office wise, 296 domestic, 413 international, $711 million globally on a $50 million budget. So not only in the first weekend did they like
Hot
triple
shit.
their money,
Yeah.
but it just went on. And then like even more so, like this doesn't exist anymore because physical media doesn't sell as much. But like there were midnight parties for the DVD and Blu-ray release.
Oh, I forgot to mention. I'm so sorry.
No.
We already went over the music bits, but at Hot Topics for the soundtrack,
Yes.
There's
they
only one of them.
soundtrack.
No, Hot Topic.
Only one Hot Topic.
At
all of them
multiple Hot
at
Topics?
multiple locations
Oh.
of Hot Topic.
I thought you were an old man being like, the Hot Topics. We're going to
Oh,
go
yes.
to the Hot Topics.
the hottest of topics. You know the store.
I know, like we throw plural when we get older. We throw plurals on things that don't.
Chipotles.
Yeah, Chipotle's and
Chipotle's. They had record listening parties at the Hot Topics.
at the Hot
Do you
Topics
shop
store.
at that Hot Topics?
Yeah.
You know the Nikes,
for the movie The Twilights.
the Twilights.
Yeah.
exactly.
Sure, it is from
Yeah.
Hot Topics.
That's the Hot Topics shit.
yeah,
So
continue.
the release of the DVD. Look, I just thought it was cool that like in the first day it sold like 4 million units. As of 2012 was the last time they recorded the numbers. Just the DVD sales grossed $185 million and sold almost 9 million DVDs.
Yep.
Man.
So that is what the industry is missing now because there's no like the secondary markets are just streaming
Yeah.
as opposed to making 3 or 4 times your budget by
Selling-
releasing it
yeah.
on DVD or Blu-ray or physical media afterwards.
Physical media, baby.
I thought it was pretty cool.
That is cool.
Critical response. Would you like to do this? You want to do
No,
this?
go for
All right.
it.
I'll do it.
So it
Both of you at the same time. Go.
it runs the gamut a little bit. The critical response, it's more negative than positive in regards to the critical response.
Yeah, we saw that with the
the scores 28% and 61%. So I grabbed a splattering of some like more notable ones, which a sloppy, moist splattering of
slopping.
Slopping or popping.
The Cleveland Scene described the film as entertaining fantasy and noted that it has a stronger visual look than Twilight and does a better job with its action scenes, while still keeping the focus on the central love triangle. That's mildly positive.
Jordan Mincer from Variety stated, Stewart is the heart and soul of the film, and added that she gives both weight and depth to dialogue that would sound like typical chick-lit blather in the mouth of a less engaging actress, and she makes Bella's psychological wounds seem like the real deal.
Chick-lit
blather. Although,
hang on.
props on blather. Well done, Jordan Mincer.
No.
This is also almost 20 years ago.
I don't care.
You were blathering?
There's a lot of like love for Stewart that she like holds it down. I know you don't really care for her, but
do not.
But I think she crushes this movie.
Oh.
Yeah, like the screaming nightmares, the
screaming was great. I
disliked this character because she was so good.
Yeah.
In this movie. And I don't want to impose that on the actress. Like
people conflate her with Bella, but she's playing Bella.
She did this so well. Yeah. I actively disliked her choice, like the character. She did it so well. I disliked the character.
Gotcha.
Because it was annoying, but she crushed it.
Okay,
at being annoying. Mike LaSalle from the San Francisco Chronicle responded with the movie more mixed, stating, "Expect this film to satisfy its fans. Everybody else, get ready for a bizarre soap opera pageant consisting of a succession of static scenes with characters leaping into frame to announce loping into frame to announce exactly what they're thinking."
I'm sorry, I was also impressed by loping. Yeah. I like loping.
Yeah, that's true. It is a very static movie for most of it, and everyone just says what they're thinking.
Except for that really cool shot.
Yeah.
Digital Spy gave the film 2 stars out of 5, praising Kristen Stewart for carrying the film on her shoulders and, once again, bringing plenty of soul to a character who might otherwise come across as self-indulgent, but was critical of its lack of action, ultimately calling it a draining experience.
I love how you keep reading all the positive reviews for Kristen Stewart, even though you hate her.
Worked out. My favorite, Roger Ebert, gives it 1 out of 4 stars. He said that it, quote, takes a tepid achievement of Twilight, guts it, and leaves it for the undead.
Oh my God.
That's
so like
rough.
he was
Ebert.
If we did his review last time, he was middle of the road of like, hey, this is for every 13-year-old girl inside of you. It is good for what it is. He thinks that this one guts that emotion and is just like, meh.
No, I felt
Here's a husk
the
of a
most
movie.
teenage girl watching this. Like, still watching it, I was still like giggling and kicking my feet.
This
like,
was a bridge.
I'm like, ooh, Edward's back.
So apparently this movie was a bridge too far for 55-year-old white Roger Ebert.
And I was still like giggling and kicking my feet. I'm like, ooh, Jacob likes her too. I was like, yeah, I love this. Brings out the 13-year-old in me more than Twilight does. Maybe that's why I love it so much.
Yeah.
I think I'm Team Jacob right now.
I am absolutely Team Jacob.
Yeah. Okay. So now I have questions for you.
Oh,
you both.
Okay.
Hang on.
I know your answer was what? Yeah. Everybody do your Kai's. Get ready. We kind of touched on, you went to the midnight showing of this.
We know how this
Had you read the book what was your first experience with Twilight Saga New Moon?
The Moon.
And how does the rewatch compare?
Butts.
Yours is the same experience.
First time, last time. No.
I think I had the same reaction the first time as I do now, which is Jacob is extremely charming as soon as he shows up in the beginning of the movie with the long hair and the big smile and the teeth. And he's just so charming.
That's what smiles are.
And handsome and adorable. And I'm Team Jacob all the way. If I can't choose Charlie, I choose Jacob.
You can't choose your father to be your mate.
His father. Or her father.
I mean,
I can choose her
hang
father.
on, you're in.
No, me.
But you're speaking as Bella.
Oh, okay.
In this, you're like, if I can't choose Charlie, I'll choose Jacob. Weird.
Yeah, a bit. But I hate Bella so much. I hate Bella to a crazy extent. She is such a nothing burger of a character, but then also is dramatic as all get out and doesn't eat with her friends. She stares out the window for 3 months straight. I I
think she probably went to the bathroom at some point.
It's so dramatic, but it's also like, okay, well, it's a teenage girl having an overreaction.
Experiencing depression.
Yeah.
And as a teenage girl who has experienced depression, God, it hits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been depressive, so I don't really have that avenue of experience.
Oh my
so
God.
like, I don't get that. So when I see someone doing that, I'm just like, oh, can we just do something, please?
I was probably super annoying as a teenager because I was just like, just shut
also
in my
we're
room.
prone to drama at that age too. Like I used to sit in the dark smoking cigarettes out of my window when I was that age. Like
my parents, so I spent the whole summer reading these books to the point like family members would come over and Alice would be shut in her room reading these books. And my parents were like, you have to come socialize with people. You can't just be like sitting in your room reading all the time. I would hide these books in the bathroom. And then I'd visit for a little bit. And then I'd be like, okay, I'm going to go to the bathroom. And I'd be in the bathroom for like an hour. My parents are like, you're either like very unwell physically or mentally. What is it?
I can't stop shitting. I guess it's physically. I make a lot of poop, Mom. You should see a doctor.
That's hilarious. But otherwise, I mean, but the dichotomy of this is that I enjoy this world and there's so much of this movie and the previous movie that I find charming and fun, and I almost have a nostalgia for at this point that I enjoy the sit. It's a nice sit, you say. It's a nice sit. But I do find myself either laughing directly at Bella or being frustrated with Bella.
Yeah.
So
she spends a whole movie either pining for one guy and then using another guy to get distracted about the first guy and leading him on.
Wait until the next one. She shines for two
she
guys.
kind
I don't know
of
if she
sucks.
leads him on so much as she's starting to fall for it. But
she is.
Yeah.
I don't think we should need to be depressive 15-year-old girls to feel for or relate to a depressive 17-year-old girl.
Mm-hmm.
My point being, I think maybe the book does a good job, but the movie doesn't do a good job accessing that for you.
Yeah.
Like you already just described how it seemed arm's length to you.
Yeah.
And you had to have at least been in those shoes to some degree to like graft onto her.
Yeah.
The movie, it's a visual medium. It should give us a little bit more insight to her internal struggle instead of just showing her sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have those shared experiences, the fuck's wrong with you? You know what I mean? Like it almost blocks you away from being empathetic. And you could just point at it and be like, why is she being stupid? The movie doesn't do the work in like inviting you into her headspace, which is, I think, a very, very missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Because I have had depressive bouts. I get what she's going through, but I also get that like, unless you experience that or know that or are very keyed into it, she's being a brat.
Yeah.
Stop being a brat. Why get over, like I think these types of media should do that work for hold my hand and take me in, not I have to experience exactly like that.
Yeah, no, I'm saying my experience is purely personal.
But when people say too, like, oh, these movies are for, I'm like, they don't have to just be for 15-year-old girls. You are making them only for 15-year-old girls.
Right.
And you don't have to. I think you shouldn't have to.
And we're talking about Romeo and Juliet, the very obvious
one right in your face.
The one for one.
I didn't get that. I didn't track that.
I also hate Romeo and Juliet for the same reasons. It's so, because you're 13 years old being the most dramatic thing on the planet.
But Romeo and Juliet has every character around them telling them and trying to explain to them that you're being this, or like at least gives the audience an avenue into this is not necessarily normal behavior. Like it gives them a mirror to bounce off of, so you know the tragedy of it.
Yeah.
This is just
You were talking earlier about her friends and at the lunch table and how in the books they actually like
I think
gave it a good go.
I think they try,
but in the movie it's just like, well, she sits over there now, and none of us are going to pay attention to her.
Even you said in the books too. Even you said in the books, the dad actually goes through an effort of like, why is my daughter having night terrors?
Yeah. She doesn't remember it. You find out later in the book.
Yo, I think maybe you should go move your dad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah. What's that video of like someone's puking at a toilet and they're just sort of like reaching over with a broom?
They're there.
So I do think a failure of this movie, just the movie part, is not actually inviting you into her headspace, except only to see Edward when she's being reckless.
Yeah.
Like voiceover.
What,
Other people trying.
They attempted with the emails to Alice that like failed to send. You get more of those in the book. You get
that was actually that was a pretty good device. I completely forgot
I like
about
that a lot.
But also too, what she shares with Alice is just
the pain
like
makes her remember that they were real, is what it is, and that's also why she's sitting at their lunch table.
No,
like,
I didn't check that.
That's their
That's the two-finger table.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
She's sitting in his seat.
I did not get that
their
at
lunch
all.
table.
Wow.
Because
I should have watched this with you.
In the beginning of New Moon, Edward, he doesn't sit with his siblings anymore. He sits with Bella and her friends. And like I think so. I think he starts to like integrate with her friend group more. And then that all happens. She like drifts away from her friend group and she starts sitting at his table in his seat.
Thank you.
To like remind her, because like his promise is you're gonna forget that I existed, and she like does not want that to happen. And I've been in a position where like I'm experiencing such grief or such like depressive episode where I'm like I almost don't want to get out of it because it reminds me that like something that I felt before that was real.
It validates your feelings.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm like it's. I feel like it's a common experience.
Well, you've been through. I've been through instances where I'm sad. I can't really articulate why I'm sad, so I will watch something sad to get it out of me. Absolutely. But I think it could have been better in so much as instead of I think it probably does a good job of I haven't read the book. It probably does a good job of hitting all the beats of the book, but it doesn't seem to, as a movie, explore the beats of the book.
It definitely doesn't.
It's kind of like a shorthand, right? So like Romeo and Juliet, what's another good example of just like young kids in love media? Anything? I don't know.
Harry and the Hendersons. I don't know why that popped in my head.
End of the fucking world. What was that show or graphic novel?
End of the fucking world.
End of the fucking world.
Well, that doesn't make my point. My point being is that these stories are universal, whether you've been in that situation or you're in that time of your life anyway, because they work around or at least show you, reflect that this is not normal. This is just down the barrel hitting plot points, and there are really, really charming moments in between and really good acting and really good characters, but it's just like plot without the fringes or exploring it. I think that's, for me, that's what keeps this movie from being just like perfect trash.
Yeah.
It doesn't sell it.
Oh. Dane Z is in the chat saying Alice, Jasper, and Carlisle Cullen are going to be at Fan Expo Philly in May.
Yeah. This Alice
I guess we
might
know
also
we're
be there.
Yeah.
I'm going to be away. I have tickets, but I'm going to be away.
Aww.
Yeah, those are my feelings about the movie.
I hope what about you?
I'm kind of hit them all.
Anything else you want to add?
It was very enjoyable to watch. It was very enjoyable to watch. I did not get bored. It was just I wasn't bored. And I really, really liked Jacob. Taylor Lautner deserves more work.
Yeah.
I don't know where he
did one action.
He's hunting werewolves, as we're going to see in the new show that's coming out, where he actually hunts werewolves.
I truly believed his puppy dog crush, hating kind of his culture in a way with the culty other guys, to now being kind of immersed in it and not
of that in Eclipse, because never mind, I'll talk about it when we talk about Eclipse.
Like, I wish you would remember the thing I told you a year ago.
I was following that, and I was invested in that. It was, and then the movie almost like pivots to, remember he's doing this other shit, and he said he was going to kill himself in this really intricate way, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, that's right. There's another plot, because Edward's not in this movie, and I don't know. I almost wish. I wanted to see more Edward, not only because I love Robert Pattinson.
You should get on a motorcycle.
I wanted to see him more.
You guys want to go cliff diving after that?
I wanted to see more because he is central to the plot, but he's non-existent.
Yeah.
Like, what is he going through trying to stay away? What is he having to endure, or what is he struggling with? all we're done is told it. I know the midnight
No,
party
not
or
even
whatever,
that.
son
Not even in
of
that.
hard
There's a different
shit.
thing. No, it's okay. I'm trying not to be like in the book.
Well, no, if that's constantly the answer, then yeah, the movie I think could show me more, because he is a non-existent part of the plot until he has to be, and it's rushed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, don't just tell me you didn't want to live in a world where I didn't exist. Show me you didn't want to be in a world where she didn't exist.
Trying to do.
Huh?
That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to kill himself. He thought she didn't exist anymore.
No, I understand that was his motivation, but the movie didn't show me that. It literally just tacked it on for 5 minutes at the end.
There he goes.
Yeah. Like, it was annoying. And then because of that, it made me overthink about the emotional maturity of Edward to degrees that bothered me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we were talking about this off camera. He has been to high school 400 times. He's got how many doctorates?
I think he's gone to medical school 3 times. Carlisle's gone way more and is actually the professional.
I understand that
he has also attended medical school.
He's never been in love, maybe, that he's never really had a girlfriend, but he's at least been around people, right? And you assume he's emotionally mature. The way that he sometimes acts, or the stuff that he omits, or the choices he makes, they just perplex me. Like, on one hand, you want me to believe that he's just a 17-year-old kid. And then in the same breath, you want me to believe that he has been crushing it on this earth for a century.
Yeah.
And they don't always comport in the same breath.
And
that bothers me.
This is a common debate amongst at least Twilight fans that I've talked to.
Well, we're fans now.
Whether
we're debating it. We're in it, baby.
Whether he is 17 forever, mentally and physically.
Can't be.
Or if he actually is like a 109-year-old in a 17-year-old's body. Because it seems like she picks and chooses whatever is convenient for
Stephanie
that plot.
Meyer.
For the scene. Like, Stephanie Meyer, it's like, okay, he made this choice because he's a 17-year-old in a vampire immortal body. Or like sometimes he's like says things so eloquently and maturely and he has all this expansive knowledge. It's like, oh, because he's been around for 109 years. And it's like, okay, well, which one is it though? Like, you gotta pick. Like,
that's a cake and eat it too. Like, if he's a 109-year-old with a wizened old man in a young body, he's grooming and it's fucking weird.
Right.
And he should know better.
I can't get over that.
And
ever.
if he is smooth-brained 17-year-old, no emotional maturity, how the fuck has he graduated high school and done all these? Because he literally can't make new things.
Yeah.
Like,
new pathways.
New pathways. Like, if his brain just keeps healing. Like, come on. Work around it.
Yeah,
that's a neat idea of like his brain keeps healing.
Yeah. It just becomes eternal sunshine of the spotless mind.
Yeah. Which was the argument I made before we went live. I was like, oh, well, if he's 17 forever, that means he stopped aging, which means his frontal lobe never developed, like, which they don't develop till you're like 25 years old.
Yeah,
right?
But then he can't do all the other stuff.
Right.
So here's the thing. I could forgive all of that if I am more emotionally engaged in the choices they're making in the moment.
Yeah.
But the movie doesn't do that. The movie just like rocks the plot and like, I made a dumb decision because of this, and I'm going to tell you what the decision is. It doesn't make me feel it.
Yeah.
That's why as weird moments where you're just in it and like, oh, that's charming. That's a great scene. That looks really great. Oh, and then pulled you right out.
Yeah.
I have an impossible question for Alice.
Try me.
If you never read the novel, do you think that the movie itself does a fine enough job of explaining the story, of immersing you into the story?
No.
You don't?
I don't think so. At least the first movie.
Wasn't very impossible now, was it?
Damn it.
No, not for Twilight. Because I remember, so I said on the last episode where we talked about Twilight, I actually saw Twilight twice in the same day. And I was like, I had mixed feelings about it the first time I saw it because it didn't, like, I was like, oh, they forgot that part from the book and that like explains this thing.
Yeah.
And then I saw it again and I was like, okay, I actually kind of really like this. I love Robert Pattinson. And then I was fully in. But yeah, I think if I had just gone in not reading the book and just seeing this movie, I would have been a little confused or I don't know, maybe I would have just been Robert Pattinson. But
yeah, there's more. I think there's more to like than not.
Oh yeah.
In this movie.
Yeah.
But not even under a microscope, under any level of examination.
Did anyone
it starts to fall.
like a maniac when she did the
please that one?
yeah.
No.
So
I didn't.
They're in Italy, and they are just housing up Edward. Just the other vampires are just crack-a-lacking him.
And you hear the like
Which
it's
is
like
kinda cool.
marble on marble.
Which is cool.
So
Yeah.
he can heal his face fast?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why when you rip them
rules.
apart, you have to burn the pieces of the vampire. They kind of touch on it in Twilight.
So
Otherwise,
you could just-
they will literally, if you just rip them apart, they come back together.
Oh, like the T-1000?
Yeah.
That's cool.
She does this brief, quick, like split-second reaction to like, please don't hurt him kind of thing.
They're
and
about to like
she
rip
does,
his
like,
head
this
off. Yeah.
thing. I cackled like a maniac.
I vaguely remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
10 stars.
Yeah, 10
I
out of
loved
10.
it.
Penny Pretzel. I'm excited for the in development animated Twilight show.
Yes, that's the Midnight Sun show. I've talked about it.
This is the one through his eyes.
Yes.
Okay. And then OMG, I forgot about Jacob's new show.
Mm-hmm.
There's the BRK. Hi, Redbeard. What's BRK mean?
It's fine. The movie was rushed because it was competing with Half Blood Prince and Avatar.
Is that why it was rushed?
I actually just think it was rushed because Summit likes money.
Yeah. And they had a
like-
year.
How quick can we?
There was. I don't think there was like let's fight Avatar by getting it out first. No, they were in love with the annual schedule of these movies.
Yeah.
They were in love with the annual schedule of these movies so much that they broke the second one up or the last one up into 2 movies.
They did. They
Yeah.
did.
Interesting.
Much like Harry Potter did.
Yep.
That was actually like a 1,500 page book.
Yeah, that was
So
like
that actually made sense
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
But
No, I
Hunger
got it
Games,
too.
the last Hunger Games being 2 movies.
Didn't need to be.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck
I
off,
still
Hunger
love both
Games.
of them.
You heard
I
it
still
here.
love both of them.
Yeah.
Hunger Games is my Hunger Games arms.
Wait, what is it? It's wolves
Wolves in
Wolves.
water.
Wolves. Swimming wolves.
And then this is
I bought a book.
I bought Hunger
That's
Games. I
right.
bought the new Hunger Games book.
No, just any book. I think we don't have to
Any
limit
book.
it to Hunger Games. I bought a book. And
And
then
Just generic.
not chill.
Just generic.
Not chill about the book I bought about
About
swimming wolves.
Yeah, so I think this movie's okay. I'm just kidding. I love this movie. I love this movie.
Hey guys, out there in the chat, are you Team Edward or Team Jacob?
Or Team Charlie.
Or Team Charlie,
Hang
like
on,
me.
no. Edward or Jacob. Let's make it binary.
All right, Edward or Jacob.
That
Because
mustache.
some fucking crazy person's gonna be like Jasper. Fuck off.
That guy
Or
sucks.
no. Caius.
We know how this.
At
will
least
go.
Jasper apologized.
I
For
don't know
trying.
that.
It'd be nice to not want to kill you all the time.
Sorry.
At the end.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
sorry. One line, and then he's charming.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm
yeah, so
charmed
Because
we
the
find
movie
out
tells me he's charming.
Jasper's power is mood control. So a lot of the Cullens, not all of them, have powers. Alice can see the future. Edward can read minds. Jasper has the ability to control like the emotions in the room.
Mhm.
They touch on that in the Twilight book. They do not mention it in the movie at all. This is the theory that they have. Nobody really knows why certain vampires have powers and some don't. Carlisle's theory is that if you had a trait, any kind of trait in your human life, when you become a vampire, everything, all your senses become heightened, including like Alice in her human life. We find out again in Twilight, and it's not touched upon in the movies. She was institutionalized because she had premonitions.
Huh.
And so when she became a vampire, she can just straight up see the future.
Interesting.
And Edward apparently was able to read people very well. Like
Just intuitive.
he was
Just
just
like body
intuitive.
language and stuff, I guess.
Yeah, he was intuitive. So when he became a vampire, he
Huh.
could hear people's thoughts. Jasper apparently was so charismatic, he was able to like manipulate people's feelings.
Yeah.
He becomes a vampire. He can just literally change the vibe in a room.
Interesting.
Penny Pretzel. God, they're both so terrible. But Team Jacob, because at least he's age appropriate and the imprinting thing can be dismissed
Yeah.
with effort.
The werewolf kid is eye candy. Don't remember his name. Too high right now, says Pink.
for
Werewolf
you.
Kid works.
Jacob. I'm Team
Boy.
Jacob.
Shoot, what else was I going to say? I have some thoughts that I wrote down on my notes app.
You don't feel them?
I feel them too, but I just needed to be reminded. I was a few glasses
While
of
you
wine
were-
in.
Yeah.
I
red
was a little
wine.
wine drunk, and I wrote. I don't have a Twilight essay for you from when I was 15 this time, but I do have wine drunk notes app thoughts. I just wrote October, November, December. That's how it starts.
Perfect.
The next note, and this is something I want to talk
Imagine
about.
yourself in a window.
Yeah, Twilight is a horror story from Charlie's point of view.
Absolutely.
His daughter has been dating this guy for a few months. The first time they quote unquote break up and get in a huge fight, she runs away, falls out of a window, breaks her fucking leg.
Yep.
In a different state. This time they break up for a while. She's screaming in her sleep. He doesn't know what to do. She finally starts to turn around, and then suddenly she's in Italy.
Yeah.
And doesn't know where she is for days.
Father of the year.
And then the guy has the audacity to come back. And then Twilight is a horror story.
And then propose to his daughter.
He doesn't know that yet. He doesn't find out until the end of the next one.
I hope he doesn't find out ever.
Yeah.
Again, I still love the line, I couldn't live in a world where you didn't exist. I know it's problematic for many reasons, but it made me tear up still. I like how vibey the Volturi are, verbatim. And then it followed up with Jane in all caps. I love Dakota Fanning as Jane, clearly.
Where is she
And
been?
Michael, I actually wrote Martin Sheen, which is the incorrect Sheen. Michael Sheen. At the end when Charlie grounds her for forever, she goes, Dad, you don't have to worry about me. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Absolute bullshit.
Never stop worrying about her.
And I want to talk about, I'm gonna have a whole section in the next episode when we talk about Eclipse about Rosalie and why she is the way that she is and how I think she deserves so much more than what she gets, both in the books and just as a person. But the line where she says at the end, I wish there had been someone to vote no for me because this isn't the life I would have chosen for myself, breaks me. Especially, we're going to find out in Eclipse what happened to her as a human and why she became a vampire. And again, wasn't her choice. And all about her just never having choices, both as a human and as a vampire. And it's just guts me every time. I did write, there's more greenery for Noel. This is something I'm going to deep dive in, I think probably in Breaking Dawn, either Breaking Dawn 1 or 2. The Twilight time makes no sense. I mean, it makes sense, but like it's insane. They've known each other less than a year at this point, maybe about a year, and they've been broken up for most of that. So like, again, this plays into like, when you're in their heads, or at least when you're a 15-year-old like me, you're like, no, they're soulmates, they're in love. If you're a parent, this is a nightmare.
Yeah, you just got here.
You just met him, and it's, it's crazy.
And you've disappeared twice.
You've disappeared twice. You were in a horrific accident.
Yeah.
Like
how long did it take her to heal?
Yeah.
That was a lot of healing time too. Yeah.
What, why is she no powers work on her?
Find out in Breaking Dawn.
Yeah.
Okay. If when she gets turned, does that make her superhuman?
Because she's a blank slate.
Yeah.
There's nothing in there to read.
No.
I know, I'm kidding.
They touch on it, and actually in Midnight Sun, it's interesting because Edward describes he can't hear anything when he tries to read her mind. And when he tries to read Charlie's mind, it's like muffled. And he gets like, he doesn't hear thoughts, he sees pictures.
It's her bloodline, it's her lineage.
It's something like that. And
genetic.
But as opposed to Renee is very loud when he hears her. And she has like, I don't know, she's very loud, and that's just her personality in general.
Who's Renee?
The mother.
The mom, sorry.
Okay.
Her mom that we never see apparently.
The movies made Jasper look like he's 24/7 constipated, says Redbeard.
Yep.
He's not constipated. He's shitting himself.
Dane says Team Jacob because werewolves rule and vampires drool.
Hey, I'm a vampire.
Oh no!
Look at my eyes.
Oh, I love the acting when Bella and Jacob are in the rain and he's got his abs out.
Yeah.
And they're both clearly freezing.
Yeah.
But I just love that it felt very real.
All of their scenes felt like I loved
very naturalistic.
So you know what my favorite scene in this entire movie is?
Please.
Well, that's probably a little hyperbolic. I was very impressed with the movie theater scene. When they're walking out, they hold hands for a split second.
And she's like,
and he has the emotional maturity to have a conversation with her at that time. And I'm like, ride or die, buddy.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're the one. She's an idiot.
So you're team Jacob.
For now, I mean, if he becomes a predator.
Who's the hottie who had to puke in the bathroom?
Mike.
I'm Team Mike.
No, I thought you hated Mike.
I do. That guy sucks.
Dead behind the eyes, Mike.
Dead behind the eyes, Mike.
All right. Anything else? What else we got?
I wanted to touch on the Quileute tribe.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to try and do like a little mini deep dive for each episode, and I'll try to make this quick. I know we've been going for a while, but I do think it's important to discuss that the Quileute tribe is a tribe of real people.
Yeah.
So I read an article on Screen Rant about their reaction to Twilight, and as of this 2020 article, there's roughly 2,000 members, And they were obviously a very loose inspiration for this series. And there's many differences from the tribe's actual history, legend, and mythology that have been changed. So native mythology surrounding skinwalkers also provided the backbone for a lot of how Stephenie Meyer depicted lycanthropy in these books. Like they can change at will. They don't have to wait for a full moon. So Twilight does change the myth of vampire clearly to fit their narrative. They sparkle in the sunlight. They can still walk in the sun. The red eyes versus the brown eyes if you're not drinking human blood versus animal blood. So I'm drinking human blood. Yeah.
That was in the movie?
No.
That's why Edward has those golden eyes. It's the fluorescence eyes. It's because he's a vegetarian. He drinks animal blood. So when you first turn to a vampire, they turn red.
Yeah.
And then when you keep drinking human blood, they stay red.
Okay.
When you drink like animal blood, they turn like golden.
I wish that was in the movie.
Yeah. So, and it seems that Stephenie Meyer also took the same liberties of changing the myths of the Quileute tribe. So, but in making these changes to the myths, it has led many fans to believe that these are the true stories of this actual very real tribe. And they've often gotten interchanged as a result. And understandably, the actual people of the Quileute tribe are not too happy about it.
Yeah.
So the myths of the Quileute tribe don't ever mention cold ones. So they don't have any kind of mention of vampires at all. And instead of transforming into wolves, the first 2 tribe members were transformed into people from wolves. So it's not like they can go back and forth. Another controversial point was Jacob's tattoo that matches the rest of the tribe's tattoo. It shows 2 twin wolves, one representing strength and one for solidarity. And this does have roots in Quileute's story. But this tattoo was designed by a non-native artist who borrowed an art style from an entirely different tribe, the Haida Nation. And the Burke Museum, which is an online resource that dedicates itself to separating the Quileute reality from Twilight fiction, notes
wow, there really is every kind of museum.
Yeah, notes
That's
that
awesome.
The werewolves in the series are often very overly sexualized. And they're also often depicted as very aggressive, virile, and just meatheads in quotes is what they said. Like, for instance, one of the problematic things they brought up was Jake, when he's starting to feel his werewolfness transform, he gets in Mike's face and threatens to send him to the hospital for being sick and wanting to go home. And other things, just generally, like, they turn into wolves when they get mad.
Yeah.
Even the example of Sam and his fiance Emily, he transformed when he got mad at her, transformed when they were too close. And
there's a read of that's not
pretty
healthy.
problematic.
It's not great.
Yeah.
And this, to make it even worse, contrasts very greatly with the Cullens, who have this palatial home. They have great wealth, and they show like extreme self-control in their instincts.
Except Jasper, he's a piece of shit.
Jasper
He's
sucks.
constantly shitting.
Yeah.
This doesn't really help with Native American stereotypes.
Yeah.
So the Twilight series obviously made millions.
How many millions did she give them?
Absolutely none.
In a list of 1 to
one, not even
less than 1.
not even.
Cool.
And so they legally weren't required to. But they obviously opted not to. But the money could have made a big difference to their tribe. Clearly, at the time of like Twilight's big heightened, they were a tribe of 700 members. And so what the tribe did is they would petition for people to support and visit the reservation. And for a brief time, they did see some revenue from when Twilight was like very, very popular. But then that popularity dwindled and it kind of died off.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was important to touch on the fact that they are a real group of people. They're not big buff werewolves. Like they're people. And their stories and their history were taken and very much changed for the purpose of these stories.
I don't know how much money she has, but I feel like maybe it wouldn't be
make a library or something.
be okay to help them out a bit. I don't know.
Something I think is really cool, a lot of Twilight fans, including myself, had donated to there was a Move to Higher Ground foundation fundraiser for the Quileute tribe when they were trying to move their reservation to like a higher ground. There was like, I think, flooding, or they needed to get to a different area. And so a lot of Twilight fans were promoting it. I saw on, I think this was in like 2020, they were promoting it on like TikTok. And so.
Has there been anything from her at all?
She's never commented as far as I know.
Okay.
Probably
As far as I
smarter
know,
thing to do.
if anybody else knows if she has and I'm missing something, please correct me and let me know.
She's not transphobic, but
well, we don't. She at least has never said it
true. We
out
don't know.
loud.
It's true. Damn it.
She's savvy enough to not say anything.
Yeah.
oh. Well, thank you for that. I didn't know that.
So, the Twilight Saga New Moon. Oh, ratings. Quick
Oh,
ratings.
yeah. What
Out
did
of
we?
what?
What was the rating?
I forget.
Fangs?
We say
Wolf-
fangs.
wolf-
How many
feats.
blood engorged eyeballs?
How many constipated Jaspers?
How many constipated Jaspers?
How many bad wigs? No.
Yeah. Oh my
Did you-
God.
did
There's
we-
some
That's the
bad
next movie.
wigs
That's
in
the
this
next
movie.
movie.
Did we mark down the ratings from last time?
I don't know if we did.
I may not have.
Shit.
Yep.
Way to
What's
be
this
fair.
one?
Go ahead.
This is probably my favorite, so I gotta give it 5.
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
5 constipated Jaspers out
5
of 5.
constipated Jaspers.
I wish I could remember what I gave 1.
I think I gave it like
Maybe like
2.75 or 3.
I think I gave it 4.
I feel like you were 2.5 and I was like 2.75 or something.
I'll go with 3. I'll go 3 because I think it's a prettier movie.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
also it's engaging, even though it frustrated me.
It's got Jacob.
Yeah,
Jacob.
I'd give it a 3.
I'm going to go 3.5.
Solid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a nice sit.
good sit.
Once you get past all of her, like,
Good sit. Makes me want to go to the Hot Topics.
All the Hot
listen to
Topics.
some soundtracks.
Let us know what you thought of New Moon.
Twilight Saga, New Moon.
All right. You can email us at cultpopgo@gmail.com.
I'm gonna stare at you with red
Next week, what are we doing?
Missions Improbable. We're going to be
Missions
talking about
Probable.
our Missions Probable. Mission Impossible 4.
No. Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol.
Ah, okay. Is this the one where he's
Ah.
No
like
numbers.
on the side of the building and there's like a eyestorm?
Spoilers. Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Damn.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Okay.
I
That's
didn't
right.
know he was gonna be on the side of a building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He.
In sand.
Yeah. The sand.
That's a great sequence.
Mhm.
The building or the sand? Both are pretty dope.
The hotel room scenes.
Yeah, but the sandstorm is cool too because he actually has to use like GPS to run through.
week.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Dylan wants to go
Dylan wants
home.
to go
Let's
home.
go.
Bye.
We'll see you next week.
And we'll talk at you
Bye.
later.
Doo-doo-doo.
Oh my God.
Young John!